Chapter 301. Baya was very nervous. Well, the best things should be done in moderation. Things will go in the opposite direction when they reach an extreme. Gu Lingqing chuckled and teased. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid that I'll eat you? Well, Baya drew circles with the branch casually. I'm a little tired today. Gu Lingqing laughed even more happily. What are you thinking about? Baya looked at him. Don't you think it's inappropriate for us to wear wet clothes? It's still a little cold at night by the sea. Gu Lingqing said again. Baya, hee, it's not like I haven't seen it before. Gu Lingqing, who had relaxed, had a wanton smile on his face. Baya felt even more awkward. Forget it for today. I'll use the leaves to make a grass skirt and quilt tomorrow. Gu Lingqing didn't make things difficult for Baya. He laid on the beach comfortably and looked at the stars in the sky. The stars here are very bright. I still remember that I loved to watch stars when I was young. The sky was full of stars at that time. Now, it's rare to see a sky full of stars. Baya lay down beside Gu Lingqing. The industrial pollution is very obvious. Many cities have smog, so the seaside, especially the undeveloped seaside, is like a paradise on earth. Gu Lingqing hugged Baya's shoulder. Promise me, even if we're saved from here, we'll never be separated. Baya was silent. The silence made Gu Lingqing flustered. He looked at Baya. Baya responded. His kiss landed on Baya's forehead. He got up and started cutting the new bamboo. What are you doing? Baya asked confusedly and sat up. Making a ladder. This bamboo is 10 meters tall. I will first cut out 2 sections that are about 4 meters tall. Every 50 centimeters, I will make a hole and insert the bamboo pieces into it. Then, I can make a ladder. As Gu Lingqing spoke, he worked at the same time. First, he compared 2 sections of bamboo to make a mark at the same height. He split the remaining 2 meters of bamboo from the middle. It was cut into 7 sections, each about 3 centimeters long. Because the higher it was, the thinner the bamboo was, and the bamboo pieces were of different sizes. Therefore, the size of each hole had to be the same as the bamboo piece. Baya helped Gu Lingqing with it. Gu Lingqing was afraid that Baya would cut his hand because it was a slow work and required a certain amount of strength. Use the remaining bamboo to make 2 pairs of chopsticks. That way, I won't have to worry about getting scalded. Okay. Baya used the remaining bamboo to make 4 pairs of chopsticks and a spatula. Gu Lingqing looked at the chopsticks made by Baya and laughed. Are the extra chopsticks prepared for the guests? Baya also thought this sentence was quite funny, so he laughed too. Or are you preparing it for our children? It seems a little early to make it for our children. Gu Lingqing joked. She didn't know whether it was because of the fire or because Baya was shy, but her face was red. She looked very beautiful without any makeup. I'm afraid that I'll lose a pair. We still have a spare pair. Baya explained. And look, the crabs seem to be cooked. Gu Lingqing reminded. Baya used the chopsticks to pick up the crabs. Because the head was too big and asymmetrical, it was a little difficult to pick up the crabs. It turned out that making chopsticks was also a technical work. She finally picked up 2 crabs and put them on the big leaves to cool for a while. Then, she used a dagger to cut the bamboo to improve the size of her chopsticks. She ground the 2 sides of the chopsticks so that the chopsticks could be combined. Then, she slowly shrunk the 2 ends so that it would be easier to pick up the crabs. Eat it first. Is it delicious? Gu Lingqing asked. Baya broke open the crabs and drank the gravy inside. It was salty and very delicious. She gave a thumbs up. It's very delicious, but I'm worried that we won't have enough fresh water. Don't worry. We have a pot and seawater. We can still make distilled water. We can also look for fresh water when we go out to look for wild vegetables tomorrow morning. When we're free, we can dig a few ponds to store water. Gu Lingqing said. We have bamboo shoots in the morning. It's wild pork stew with bamboo shoots. Let's go out after breakfast. As Baya spoke, she peeled a crab foot and put it in front of Gu Lingqing's mouth. Don't peel it for me. Eat it yourself. Gu Lingqing felt sorry for her hands. Then don't cook first. Eat a crab. There's so many here. We can't finish it. Gu Lingqing looked at the time. She washed her hands with seawater and sat next to Baya to eat the crab. Baya listened to the whistling sea breeze and the sound of the waves hitting the rocks. If she thought of it as a holiday instead of being stranded on a deserted island, it felt pretty good. Gu Lingqing ate a crab and started to make a ladder. Baya ate too. She broke the abalone and cut it into thin slices. She put it in the pot and scalded it. Then she put it in her mouth. It was very delicious. Try this. Baya picked up a small piece and scalded it in the pot. Then she handed it to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing ate it. It's really not bad. I guess the chef in the restaurant can only cook like this. The difference is that what we eat is the freshest. Yes. You can't buy the freshest. She and Gu Lingqing ate the abalone. Baya also cut the sea cucumber into thin slices. Did you notice that abalone and sea cucumber taste almost the same? Just like all kinds of shellfish, they taste almost the same. Baya asked, there are still some differences. For example, the meat of scallops is cylindrical. When you eat it, it tastes more chewy. Oysters are soft, like a piece of fat that will melt in your mouth. As for clams, they are bigger and have more edible parts. Razor clams are also different. Gu Lingqing said seriously. I feel like you were a gourmet expert. Baya said casually. In fact, today is the day I eat the most, Gu Lingqing replied. You also ate a lot when you were near my school last time. Baya reminded. But not as much as today. I ate a pork leg, right? Gu Lingqing asked. Baya smiled. I think so. By the way, we can probably eat the extra pork for more than a week. Tomorrow, don't eat the other 3 legs. Wrap them in salt and put them under the sun. They won't go bad for a few months. Baya paused after saying that. A few months. She couldn't live that long. If she died, Gu Lingqing would be the only one on the island. If that happened, it would be too pitiful. What are you thinking? Why don't you say it? Gu Lingqing looked at her. Baya came back to her senses and continued. I think we can eat the spare ribs tomorrow. We might as well stew it in a big pot. It can last us for a whole day. Chapter 302. They were eating, chatting, and working at the same time. Before they knew it, it was already 11:15 at night. Gu Lingqing finished climbing the ladder. Baya glanced at the direction of the bed. It was very dark inside. It looked bottomless, as if it was filled with unknown, terrifying power. It's very dark, Baya said worriedly. Don't worry. Gu Lingqing poured lard on the thicker rope that Baya made, tied it to a wooden stick, and put it on the fire. A torch was soon made. He carried the ladder and walked in the front, holding a kitchen knife in the other hand. Baya held the torch in one hand and their parasol in the other. He went back to their bed. Previously, Gu Lingqing had cut a path that was 1 meter wide and 10 meters long. The ground was clean and tidy. First, if they saw a wild animal, they could climb to the bed as fast as possible. Second, if there was a boat passing by, they could also see it. Thirdly, they had to avoid starting a fire if they were carrying a torch. When they reached the bed, Gu Lingqing first tried the chair. It was very solid. He put the parasol on it and looked at the pork on the bed. He was not used to sleeping with pork in his arms. Xiaoya, we need to go back to the beach and hide our pork under the stone house, Gu Lingqing said. Yes, not only that, I think we should move some stones here and make a fire here. Otherwise, the torch won't be easy to fix. Besides, I'm afraid the torch won't last until dawn. I'm afraid of the dark, Baya said apologetically. Okay, let's go, Gu Lingqing answered without hesitation. He led the pork down. They returned to the beach. Fortunately, Baya had moved a lot of stones here, so it didn't take long to make a stone house. They carried a lot of stones back to the bed and formed a circle. Fortunately, there was enough bamboo. They lit the fire again and lay on the bed. It was already 1 o'clock in the morning, but Baya still couldn't sleep. She heard the sizzling sound of the fire mixed with the sound of insects. When she opened her eyes, she saw the darkness around her. She felt that there were eyes watching them in the dark. In a daze, worried and scared, she even got up to stoke the fire 5 or 6 times. She only fell asleep when the sky was just beginning to brighten. After a long time, she woke up. Seeing that Gu Lingqing was not beside her, she panicked and ran to the beach, shouting, Gu Lingqing, where are you? Gu Lingqing? She ran to the beach and smelled the aroma of pork and bamboo shoots. Gu Lingqing had raised a stone, and a pot of pork and bamboo shoots was boiling on it. Beside the stone house, there were 24 bamboo, some cellulosic trunks and leaves. But there was no sign of Gu Lingqing. Was Gu Lingqing? Bai shouted. She looked around, but there was still no sign of Gu Lingqing. She ran towards the small bamboo forest that she had been to yesterday. From afar, she saw Gu Lingqing coming over with bamboo on his shoulders. From afar, she saw Gu Lingqing carrying bamboo on his shoulders. Gu Lingqing was sweating profusely, but his tone was gentle. You're awake? If you wake up and see that I'm not here, stay on the tree. It's too dangerous. Why didn't you wake me up? You've been busy the whole morning, haven't you? Baya looked at Gu Lingqing with heartache. Gu Lingqing put 2 pieces of tree bark on his shoulders to reduce the friction of the bamboo on his shoulders. This man was very smart. He was very adaptable in the wild. You didn't sleep last night, right? I didn't have the heart to wake you up. Today, I used these bamboos to seal up the place where we sleep so you won't feel afraid. Gu Lingqing looked at her tenderly and said with a smile. That smile was too beautiful. She didn't dare to look at it. She was afraid that if she looked at it too long, she wouldn't want to die. She lowered her eyes. Thank you. You're my woman. It's my duty to take care of you. Gu Lingqing said naturally. Baya looked at him. Let me help you carry too. It's okay. You'll have to weave a lot of ropes later and deal with the pork from yesterday. You'll be busy. Gu Lingqing didn't want her to do any heavy work. They returned to the stone house. Gu Lingqing cut a bamboo in half and carried it to the bed. He compared it to the sun and came back with the umbrella. Baya cut a bamboo in half and made it into a simple bowl. She put some bamboo shoots and pork in a soup and put it aside to cool. Gu Lingqing held the umbrella and said, I compared it. Our wooden bed is 6 meters wide. The diameter of the thick end is about 16 centimeters, and the thin end is about 10 centimeters. So, we'll use 11 thick parts for the width of the bed. The bed is 8 meters long, so we'll use 19 thin parts. There's a total of 30 bamboos here. They're 10 meters long. We can also split the bamboos and use them. When you cut too much, Baya asked in confusion. The place we live in needs to be sturdy. We'll use the whole bamboo. We'll build a house on this beach to put our ingredients or a place to rest. That way, we won't have to worry about the rain, Gu Lingqing explained. Baya nodded. It was definitely a good idea to prepare for a rainy day. She passed the bowl to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing took it. She started eating too. The wild boar was natural. It didn't grow up on fodder. The bamboo shoots didn't have any pesticides or growth hormones. It was especially delicious. Gu Lingqing came out early in the morning to stew the pork. It was already 12:15 a.m. The pork was stewed very soft and tender. It melted in the mouth. It's delicious. Baya couldn't help but exclaim. Gu Lingqing smiled dotingly. Eat more if it's delicious. You're too skinny. I haven't gained weight in the past 27 years. If I get fat on a deserted island, it'll be a joke, Baya teased herself. There's a lot of resources here. There's a lot of seafood and game. It's all natural. There's no one fighting with us for food. I think we'll really get fat. Don't look down on me if I get fat. Baya went along with his topic and joked. Your position in my heart will be proportional to the increase of your weight. Gu Lingqing said with a deadpan expression. Baya smiled. Then how light is my position in your heart now? It means that you still have a lot of potential. Oh, Baya replied. She lowered her head and ate the wild boar meat stew with bamboo shoots. Gu Lingqing heard the disappointment in her tone. He guessed that the joke was over. He asked carefully, Are you angry? Baya shook her head. No, I want to eat as much as possible. I don't want it to affect my weight gain. Gu Lingqing smiled. Don't worry. Even if you don't gain weight, your position in my heart is already not light. She knew that. She took the bowl from his hand, scooped another bowl, and passed it to him. You happen to not be heavy in my heart. Eat more, dear. Chapter 303. That's not what she meant by kiss. Gu Lingqing did it on purpose. She didn't want to answer him. Let's hurry up. It'll be terrible if it rains tonight. Gu Lingqing nodded and said thoughtfully, It's good if it rains. There's no fresh water, and we can have a good rest. Didn't you say you were very tired before? Baya's face became hot. He wanted to have sex with her before, but she said she was tired and refused. She cleared her throat. Stop joking. Eat more quickly. You work a lot. If you don't eat more, you'll lose weight. Then, you'll be less important in my heart. Baya stopped this topic. Gu Lingqing scratched her nose. He knew that Baya was thin-skinned, so he didn't tease her. He ate. After eating, Baya went to wash the dishes. Gu Lingqing cut the bamboo into 2 sections that were 5 meters long and dug a hole. After digging about 2 meters, he saw the soil. He dug another 50 centimeters into the soil and inserted the bamboo into it. Then he covered it with soil and stepped on it firmly. Then he filled it with sand again. In this way, the 5-meter-long bamboo trunk was exposed. Baya came back after washing the dishes and helped Gu Lingqing. At a place about 2 meters away from Gu Lingqing's bamboo trunk, Baya also dug a hole. Gu Lingqing finished his side and took over Baya's work. He said, "Leave this rough work to me. You go and weave the rope. The more the better. The stronger the rope, the better." Okay. Baya sat under the parasol to weave the rope. She drank a big mouthful of water and found that there were only 4 bottles of mineral water. Gu Lingqing finished the bamboo trunk and walked over. He took the bottle from Baya's hand and drank it. Gu Lingqing, our fresh water may be finished today. Baya reminded him. Don't worry, I'll come over right now. Gu Lingqing took out the simple distilled water bottle that he had made on the sea before and broke the middle of the distilled water bottle with a piece of bamboo. He clamped the middle of the bottle filled with seawater and placed it 5 centimeters away from the fire. Keep an eye on the amount of seawater in the mineral water. It can't be too little. If it's too little, the bottle will be set on fire, Gu Lingqing reminded. I understand. Baya nodded. While weaving the rope, she looked at the mineral water bottle on the fire. Gu Lingqing cut a small hole at the top of the 5-meter-long bamboo pole, inserted the rope into the hole, and then wound it around the bamboo pole, forming a dead knot. You can hang the meat now. It's done here, too. Baya took down the bamboo pole with the mineral water bottle. Don't touch it yet. It's very hot. Put it aside and let it cool, Gu Lingqing reminded. Baya looked at the inside of the mineral water bottle. It was very fast to make distilled water in this way. The inverted 1/3 of the mineral water bottle was already 2/3 full. Although the process of making water was more troublesome, she was not afraid of running out of water. While she was cooling the mineral water bottle, she went to deal with the pork. She pierced a hole in the pork leg with a dagger, threaded the rope into it, and hung it on the clothesline. Gu Lingqing didn't continue to cut the bamboo. Instead, he took out the fishing net and used the rope to surround it, making it into the shape of a pocket. Baya continued to weave the rope. I'll put the fishing net at the bottom of the sea and come out like this in 10 minutes. Put the gun on you to protect yourself, Gu Lingqing said. Okay, be careful, Baya said. Gu Lingqing nodded. He moved a big stone and put in the fishing net, and then put a piece of pork rib in the fishing net. He didn't take off his clothes and went into the sea with the fishing net. Baya poured out the distilled water, continued to make distilled water, and weave the rope. About 8 minutes later, Gu Lingqing came out of the sea. He took off his coat and pants and hung them on the clothesline, revealing his strong chest and 8 chocolate-like abdominal muscles. She felt that he seemed to be stronger than before. Gu Lingqing looked at her. She cleared her throat. Do you want to eat fish tonight? We might not even finish this pot of pork stewed with bamboo shoots. I'll fix up our small house first. If there's time, I want to dig a pond and pour the seawater into it. We can raise fish or something. Gu Lingqing let his mind wander. There's no need to raise fish. You can catch fish every day. If you can't finish them, I can wash them, dry them, and store them. Baya suggested. That's good. Anyway, there should be fresh fish every day. Tomorrow, we'll go to the forest to find some plants to remove the smell. Gu Lingqing said and began to cut the bamboo. Do you know them? Are there many plants in the forest that are poisonous? Baya did not know them, so she asked worriedly. When we carried out missions in the forest before, we didn't bring any rations with us. We got the materials locally, and there were experts following us. So, I know what we can eat and what we can't eat. Don't worry, Gu Lingqing comforted her. Baya chuckled. I have a feeling that I'll be able to live well if I follow you. So, you have to follow me. Gu Lingqing said with a smile. Baya's eyes flashed, and she nodded. I'll follow you for as long as I'm alive. Silly girl. Gu Lingqing said lovingly. The smile on his face was indeed happy, relaxed, and joyful. He cut the tree into 5-meter-long pieces, put the thick pieces together, and put the thin pieces together. He began to tie them. When he was done, for hours had passed. He made a lot of ropes, and in 4 hours, he made 3 bottles of distilled water. She felt uncomfortable in her stomach. She had a bad feeling. In the past, her period had always been irregular. It would come once every 2 to 3 months, and it would hurt badly every time. She might have her period soon, and there were no sanitary products here. She thought of many ways, such as using leaves or ropes to weave. The ancient people seemed to have used charcoal ash, which could absorb water. What are you weaving? Gu Lingqing walked over. Baya blushed. Some necessities. Come over and take a look at our hut, Gu Lingqing said. Then, he turned around and walked towards the hut. Baya held Gu Lingqing's hand and realized that something was wrong. She opened his palm, and it was full of blisters. Some of them were already broken. You can't work anymore today. They're all broken. Don't you want your hand anymore? Baya said worriedly. Don't worry. It's like this because I haven't worked for a long time. In the future, these blisters will have calluses. If I work again, it won't hurt anymore. Gu Lingqing smiled and comforted him. Then let's wait for the blisters to subside before we work again. What if my hand has a fever? There's no hospital here. Anyway, you're not allowed to work today. Tomorrow, we'll go to the mountains to find some wild vegetables, pork, and seafood. We can eat it for more than 10 days. Baya's heart ached. She blew on his palm. Gu Lingqing gazed at her. As long as he was with her, this pain was sweet in his heart. Chapter 304. I'll listen to you. Come, take a look at our home, Gu Lingqing said with a smile. Hearing the word home, Baya paused. She had always longed for a home, so when she heard the word home, she felt especially warm. Gu Lingqing held her hand and walked. Baya saw their house. Gu Lingqing blocked 3 sides of the house with bamboo and covered it with a bamboo roof, facing the sea. The bamboo ladder was placed at the edge, and he moved the stones under the house. Even if it rained, it would not get wet. I'll use the bamboo to make 2 doors later. When we sleep, it will be in a sealed state, Gu Lingqing imagined. I'll do it. Your hand must rest today, Baya said forcefully. He did not want her to do the manual work. How about we replace the door with a wooden plank today, and I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not waiting for you to do it tomorrow. I'm waiting for your hand to recover, Baya corrected. Okay. Gu Lingqing nodded. There will probably be more mosquitoes next month, but it's okay. We can definitely finish the hut in a month. Gu Lingqing was completely in the mode of a wife-doting maniac. Baya frowned slightly. Yes, there would be more mosquitoes in a month. When she passed away, Gu Lingqing still had to survive. She had to do more work. Let's go to the beach. It's time for dinner. After dinner, go down and see if there are any fish in the net, Baya said. Okay. They returned to the beach. After dinner, Gu Lingqing ate up all the pork stewed bamboo shoots in the pot and went down to the sea. She had to make more dried fish to ensure that Gu Lingqing could eat it for a long time. That way, even if no one passed by, Gu Lingqing would make a sturdy bamboo raft to leave. She sat down and used a wide fiber to weave a bag. She weaved it quickly, and in 10 minutes she finished it. Gu Lingqing emerged from the sea and walked with difficulty. Baya ran over worriedly. What's wrong? Are you hurt? Gu Lingqing smiled. How is that possible? There are too many fish, prawns, and crabs, so it took a lot of effort. Baya looked at the fishing net in the water and really saw the densely packed fish. Gu Lingqing passed the net port to Baya. Hold the opening tightly. Baya held the opening tightly, while Gu Lingqing carried the stone. Baya saw a lot of fish jumping around inside. Is it 100 Jin? Baya asked in surprise. Gu Lingqing nodded. More or less. I think you'll be busy today. I'll help you kill the fish later. It won't take too much effort. No, these seafood have a lot of viruses on them. Some parts of your palm are injured. There was once a scientist who killed fish, but his wound got infected and he died. Leave the killing to me. We still have half of the spare ribs. Do you want to continue stewing the spare ribs in bamboo shoots? We can eat it tomorrow. Baya said firmly. Gu Lingqing was helpless. I've been eating stewing ribs and bamboo shoots for the whole day. No matter how delicious it is, I'm sick of it. I'll bring you to dig some wild vegetables tomorrow. How about this? We'll dry all the pork legs. You can cut off all the fat from the pig and boil the oil. I'll marinate the rest of the spare ribs, spine, and lean meat with salt. This way, it can be eaten for more than 10 days without spoiling. Gu Lingqing nodded. All right, I'll boil the oil. Baya was relieved. The cleaver was blunt after cutting the bamboo for the whole day. Baya brushed some sand and placed it on the stone. She sharpened the cleaver and started to kill the fish. The fish were all in groups. Baya did not know what kind of fish they were. They were all about the same size. One of them was about 8 to 9 grams. There were also a few especially big and small ones. There were also more than 10 fish that were not of this breed. In order to speed up the process, Baya threw away the fish's head and organs. She only kept the fish bubbles. Fish bubbles were good stuff. After drying, it would become the most natural flour glue. It could beautify, nourish, and nourish the body. It was very good for women. An hour later, she had cleaned all the fish. She first brought a bucket to Gu Lingqing. He finished boiling the oil in half an hour and was helping to weave the rope. He saw Baya frowning and explained. You use your fingers to weave the rope. You don't need your palm. Baya sighed and sat beside him to weave the fish. It's getting dark. What are we going to do with these fish? Will they be eaten by wild beasts when we wake up? Our efforts will be in vain. Later, we should carry more stones over and hide under the stones. There's no need for that. The bamboo we use on the roof has different lengths. I purposely left them for hanging things. Gu Lingqing explained. Baya lowered her head and smiled. Gu Lingqing was really careful. She thought of everything. Then I'll use the rope or bamboo to weave some frames. I can put some ingredients in them. Baya thought. There's no hurry. We have plenty of time in the future. All right. Is the small bag you weave too thin? What's it for? Gu Lingqing picked up the small bag she weaved and asked in confusion. Baya blushed. She snatched the small bag from Gu Lingqing's hand and continued to put it on the big leaf. She glanced at Gu Lingqing. He was still waiting for her to explain. My period is coming soon. I've thought about it. It doesn't need to be too thick. I'll put some smooth leaves at the bottom so it won't leak. I'll put charcoal ash in the middle so it can absorb water. If it's dirty, I'll throw it away. Baya explained. Gu Lingqing understood. She cleared her throat. You don't need to go into the sea today. The water is cold. I won't mind if it's dirty. I'll feel uncomfortable if I don't bathe. Baya said softly. Then I'll boil the seawater and you can bathe with the bamboo. Gu Lingqing paused. I still need to quickly make a bamboo house on the beach. You can hide in it and bathe. The sea breeze is too cold. I'm not that delicate. There's no hurry. I haven't come yet, right? It'll be too late when your hand recovers. Then you can bathe under our house first. I'll use a parasol to cover the side facing the sea. It should be able to block a lot of wind. Gu Lingqing thought about it. Baya felt that he was sadder about her than she was. She smiled. That's a good idea. I suddenly realized that our house is still a 2-story bungalow. Gu Lingqing was amused by Baya. I'll go pick more leaves later and dig out the charcoal ash. I'll make a few more tonight in case of emergencies. Teach me how to weave small bags later, and I'll help you. Baya was amused. Baya blushed. She really felt awkward asking Gu Lingqing, a dignified general, to help her weave women's products. No need. Baya refused. If you say no again, I'll be angry. Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice and looked at her deeply. Chapter 305. After more than an hour, she had strung all the fish up with a rope. The fish had just been prepared and were not dry yet, so they needed the sea breeze to blow them. However, 150 fish could not fit on the clothesline. Baya could only put them on the big leaves and spread them on the beach. When everything was ready, it was already 9:30 p.m. We still have more than 10 crabs in the net. Do you want to eat them? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing shook his head. The pork we ate last night has not been digested yet. I'm too full. I'll go and release them. Then I'll keep the pork legs and blow them into the net, Baya said decisively. Gu Lingqing put the crabs back into the sea and hung the net on the clothesline. Baya warmed the water. Gu Lingqing knew her intention, so he made a torch. We might not have enough firewood today. Let's get up tomorrow morning to pick up more. We can dry them for later use, Baya reminded. Okay. Gu Lingqing took the torch, carried the pot, threw the bamboo into it, and went to the house. Baya carried the 3 pork legs and followed him. Gu Lingqing put the torch on a rock, took the pork legs from Baya's hands, and climbed into the house. Baya was taking a bath downstairs. Gu Lingqing came down a little early and stood in front of her. She took off all her clothes. Under the light of the fire, her skin was pink and tender, shining. He felt a gust of hot air rising from his abdomen. He quickly turned his back to her. Baya was also very nervous. However, she believed in Gu Lingqing's character. In the past, when they had not broken their relationship, even if she took the pill and seduced him, he did not touch her. She quickly put on her clothes. Well, I'm done, Baya said. Okay. Gu Lingqing did not look back. He took a deep breath and calmed his little brother down. Your menstrual period is coming soon. Hurry up and make a few more. He walked forward, and Baya picked up the torch and the pot that had run out of water and followed him. Gu Lingqing sat on a rock. Under the sea breeze, his messy mood calmed down a little. Baya sat beside him. The image of her showering flashed through his mind, and he felt hot again. He turned around and turned his back to Baya. Baya didn't say anything and started weaving. Gu Lingqing rested for 10 minutes, looked at her knitting technique, and helped her knit. Baya was already 27 years old. She had been married and divorced twice, had a child, and was also a psychiatrist. She knew the reason why Gu Lingqing was behaving abnormally. Looking at him awkwardly knitting women's products, her heart was wet. That, Baya said. What? Gu Lingqing squinted at her. Because something was deliberately suppressed. Her voice was a little hoarse. Baya licked her dry lips. Gu Lingqing handed the bottle of mineral water to her. It can make distilled water. If you want to drink water, just drink it. Baya took the mineral water he handed over and took a sip. He was so good to her and thought of her everywhere. She had nothing to fear. I'll help you solve that. Pay attention to the surroundings and be careful of wild animals. Baya said softly. Her eyes were locked, and she didn't look at him. Gu Lingqing was surprised. He lowered his head and kissed her lips. Baya stepped back and covered her mouth. I haven't brushed my teeth for a few days. Tomorrow, let's go to the forest to find some plants for brushing and washing her hair. Gu Lingqing didn't force her. Baya squatted in front of him, took a deep breath, and unzipped his pants. Gu Lingqing groaned. He looked at her delicate face with infatuation. He didn't hide his deep love and indulgence. Sparks danced in his eyes. It seemed to be surprisingly in sync with her rhythm, and it flowed freely in his blood. Baya was gentle, meticulous, and satisfied in all aspects. In just 6 or 7 minutes, he came so fast and strong that Baya accidentally swallowed it. She gargled her mouth with pure water and poured it into the bamboo bucket to wash him. Neither of them spoke. The moon also came out from the clouds. It was so quiet, and the years were peaceful. Asterisk with Gu Lingqing's help, she made 12 complete sanitary pads and yawned. Gu Lingqing looked at Baya with heartache. Rest early tonight. In the future, we won't work after 6 o'clock. It's not good for our eyes to work at night. Baya nodded and yawned again. Tears came out from the corners of her eyes. I just came here. I'll get better in the future. Let's go. I'll collect the fish. You just need to hold the torch behind me. Gu Lingqing stood up to collect the fish. She saw that he couldn't carry that much, so she did her best to help him carry it. Gu Lingqing placed the pot filled with fish on top of the bamboo when there was not enough space to hang them. Will he not be able to hold on? Baya asked worriedly. No, the bottom is a solid fulcrum. It'll be more stable if we put something heavy on top. Gu Lingqing explained. Baya was relieved and yawned again. Come up and sleep first. I'll clean up the rest. Baya wanted to accompany Gu Lingqing, but she didn't know whether it was because she didn't sleep well last night or her period was coming. She was so sleepy that she almost fainted. She climbed onto the bed and fell asleep as soon as she closed her eyes. Gu Lingqing looked at the wooden planks on the ground. Firstly, it was difficult to pull them up without Baiya's help. Secondly, he was afraid that it would disturb Baiya's sleep. So, he used the simplest method. He took a ready-made umbrella and placed it in front of Baiya. He had worked hard today, so his body relaxed. Soon, he fell asleep as well. Baiya had a dream. In the dream, she died. Gu Lingqing was in great pain. He hugged her body and cried as he walked towards the sea. She didn't want him to die. She shouted at him with all her might, but he didn't seem to hear her. She jumped into the water too. She felt it was difficult to breathe. She tried to pull him up, but he didn't move. She was too anxious and sad. She woke up and opened her eyes. Her eyes were red. Her face was full of tears. She looked at Gu Lingqing's beautiful face. The more she looked, the more reluctant she was to leave. The more she looked, the more she didn't want to die. He was working hard for their future. He did a lot of work. His hands were full of blisters, but he didn't stop. But she estimated that there were only 20 days left before the poison took effect. Gu Lingqing was such a good person, but he was left alone on the island. How pitiful would that be? He didn't even have someone to talk to him. What she was afraid of was that he would really carry her to the sea to seek death, just like in her dreams. Gu Lingqing's eyelashes trembled slightly. She was about to wake up. Baiya immediately closed her eyes. She turned around and turned her back to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing opened her eyes and looked at the time. It was 6:50. She sat up. She wanted her to sleep a little longer, so she jumped down quietly. Chapter 306. Gu Lingqing looked at her and smiled. Morning. Baiya put down the ladder and climbed down. She held his arm and said seriously, Gu Lingqing, I've thought about it. Now we have enough bamboo and food to eat for 20 days. We can make a bigger boat. As long as there is enough water, we can definitely go back. As long as we have enough water, we can definitely go back. Gu Lingqing stared at her with an unreadable expression. You want to go back? Baiya felt that his question was very strange. Don't you want to go back? Actually, drifting on the sea, especially in the deep sea, without modern equipment, it's very easy to sink into the sea. It depends on our luck whether we'll encounter big waves, undercurrents, reefs, and so on. Last time, we only encountered heavy rain. And we almost lost our lives. Gu Lingqing explained. Last time, we only used wooden planks, and we could survive for 2 nights and a day. This time, we'll make the boat stronger and bigger. Then, we'll continue using wooden planks to protect ourselves. After drifting for 5 to 6 days, we might encounter a cruise ship and we'll be saved. Baiya tried to persuade Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing rubbed Baiya's head, and his expression softened. I think life on the island is also very good now. It's like a vacation, free and unrestrained, eating natural delicacies, and no one comes to disturb our lives. Even if we are disturbed, it's because we have returned to the modern world. Back into life. We're at ease and follow God's will. What if I die? Baiya blurted out anxiously. Gu Lingqing smiled. Don't worry. As long as I'm here, I won't let the birds or beasts hurt you. Even if you really die in front of me, I'll accompany you. I won't let you leave alone. She was afraid that he would accompany her. What if I get sick? Baiya asked with tears in her eyes. Aren't you a doctor? Besides, there are some common herbs that I can recognize. We usually have them prepared whenever we see them, just in case we need them. If it's a serious illness, that might be God's will. We are alive. Before we get seriously ill, we will have returned to modern life. Since we're already here, we might as well take things as they come. Qing consoled. If, instead of dying, she could live for a long time, she really wanted to live with him on this island forever. But there is no if. Gu Lingqing, I want to go back. I have an unfulfilled wish. Baiya pleaded, shaking Gu Lingqing's arm. Gu Lingqing sighed helplessly. Fine, if you want to go back, then go ahead. But our food is all raw. Can you eat it raw? In addition, we need to prepare enough water. With our current mineral water bottles, Even if we fill them up, I'm afraid it won't be enough for us. I've thought about this. Let's first use bamboo to build a boat. The boat needs to be slightly bigger, 3 meters long one, 6 meters wide and one, 5 meters tall. Then, put a wooden board on the top of the boat as the bow. Then, lay a few layers of stones at the bottom of the boat. Then, we can light a fire on the stones. If we eat it, we can also make distilled water by imagined. There are gaps between the bamboos. Especially after the waves hit the sea, water will come in. Soon, our boat will be submerged. Even if it's not fast, it won't last for a day. If it's raining heavily, there will only be a wooden board or a bottom left. Gu Lingqing denied. Tree bark can be waterproof. We can make the boat into a double layer. Then, we can put the tree bark in the middle. That way, it will be waterproof. Baiya suggested, we can't cover the whole boat with tree bark. There are gaps between the tree bark. As long as there is a little gap, water will come in. So, since ancient times, all the boats we've seen have been made of wood. None of them are made of bamboo, except for bamboo rafts. Bamboo rafts are similar to wooden boards. Gu Lingqing explained patiently. Baiya lowered her eyes. She couldn't hide her disappointment. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand and said, "How about this? We try our luck. If we have a chance to encounter a towering tree, the wood is relatively light and can be directly made into a boat. We will cut down the tree and make a boat to leave. Can we move such a big tree with our strength?" Baiya doubted. Gu Lingqing scratched Baiya's nose. "Are you stupid? It's so heavy. We can move it after making it into a boat. During this period, we need to stock up on drinking water and food. The conditions might not allow us to start a fire on the wooden boat. Will the wooden boat capsize under the big waves?" Baiya was worried. Even ships have the possibility of sinking, let alone a small boat. "I can only try my best to prepare. Everything depends on God's will." Baiya nodded and sighed. She was definitely going to leave. If she stayed, Gu Lingqing would be buried with her. If she left, she just had to say that she was going abroad and not let Gu Lingqing know that she was dead. After a few years, he would forget about her. "Let's go. We'll rinse our mouths and have breakfast. We'll go to the forest." Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand and walked. "What are we having for breakfast?" Baiya asked Gu Lingqing. "We don't seem to have a fire source and firewood." Gu Lingqing remembered. "Then let's go to the forest first. We'll look for some wild vegetables and firewood. We'll also look for a towering tree." Baiya took a plastic bag and followed behind Gu Lingqing. Because of the dream yesterday, she was not in a good mood. Gu Lingqing squatted down and picked a bunch of coffee-color mushrooms. He took the plastic bag from Baiya's hand and put it inside. He could see that Baiya was restless. "What's wrong? Is something bothering you?" Baiya shook her head. "My stomach is not feeling well. Are the mushrooms in your hand edible?" "I heard that there are a lot of poisonous mushrooms in the forest." Gu Lingqing felt sorry for her. "When we go back later, lie on the bed and rest. Leave the rest to me. No matter what happens, don't get out of bed." Baiya's stomach was really not feeling well. She nodded. "I'm sorry for dragging you down. Why would I? If you're not feeling well, you should rest. That's not dragging me down." Gu Lingqing was in charge of looking for wild vegetables while Baiya helped to pick them. They had been picking for 1.5 hours and had already picked a big plastic bag full. They were ready to go back. Gu Lingqing suddenly stopped and turned around. "What's wrong?" Baiya was nervous. "There's a pheasant. Xiaoya, follow behind me," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He put the plastic bag on the ground and rushed forward. The pheasant sensed danger and ran away. Gu Lingqing was afraid that Baiya could not keep up, so he did not dare to run too fast. He chased after the pheasant for more than 10 minutes. Gu Lingqing turned around and looked at Baiya. She was struggling to keep up. He did not want her to run too hard, so he was ready to give up. "Gu Lingqing, look." Baiya pointed in front. Gu Lingqing looked in the direction that Baiya pointed. Not far away, there was a bamboo house with 2 rooms. Chapter 307. They looked at each other. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand. He didn't care about the chicken anymore and walked toward the bamboo house quietly. Baiya's heart was beating fast. She actually found them on this island. She and Gu Lingqing were no longer alone. Perhaps, with their help, they could leave earlier. Gu Lingqing pushed the door open. Bai saw that there was no one inside. There was a thick layer of dust on the wooden table. This place is empty. Gu Lingqing couldn't help feeling gloomy. Bai looked around and opened the cupboard. She looked at the things inside. I think that the owner of this place must have lived on this road for a long time. That's why he could build a house. He must have been preparing to leave. That's why there's no food in the cupboard. The choice of building a house is either safety or water. This place doesn't seem to be the safest, Gu Lingqing guessed. He pulled Bai out of the house. They walked around the house and looked around. Gu Lingqing, Bai shouted. She looked at the charcoal ash and the remaining wood on the ground. She frowned and looked at Gu Lingqing. The owner of the house has the same thought as us. They also built their own boat and left from here. Gu Lingqing nodded. His heart was heavy. Maybe he survived. Maybe he died on the sea. The bad news is that he stayed here for a long time. No boat passed by to take him away, Bai said sadly. Not necessarily. This place is quite far from the sea. Even if a boat passed by, he wouldn't be able to see it. So, no boat took him away. Gu Lingqing comforted Baiya. Baiya answered. Gu Lingqing lay on the ground with his ear close to the ground. Baiya guessed that he was listening to the sound of water. Gu Lingqing stood up and looked around again. Did you hear anything? There's the sound of water. It should be nearby, but I can't see it. Gu Lingqing was puzzled. Could it be in the room? Baiya guessed. She turned back to the room and searched everywhere. After entering the house, Gu Lingqing leaned against the ground again. Xiaoya, the sound of water is much louder here than outside. It must be covered by something. Baiya looked around and set her eyes on the cabinet. Could it be down here? Gu Lingqing moved the cabinet aside and saw a well. There's really water inside, Baiya said in surprise. But it seems to be a bit deep. It's about 6 meters from here to the surface of the water. Gu Lingqing estimated with his eyes. About 8 meters. I don't see any buckets here. So we have to make the buckets ourselves. Then we can tie a rope to it and get water. We can use bamboo to store enough water. In this way, we won't have to worry about dying of thirst on the sea. Baiya's eyes lit up. Gu Lingqing could tell that she really wanted to leave. So, do you want to stay here or go back to the beach? Gu Lingqing asked. Of course, back to the beach. Maybe there's a boat passing by, and we won't miss it. Besides, we have to catch fish there. I fried the dried fish so we can eat it on the way. Now that we have water and food, we just need a boat. Baiya's mood suddenly lightened up. Gu Lingqing turned her body so that she was facing him. Xiaoya, promise me. When we go back, we have to be together, Gu Lingqing said solemnly. He still had some concerns. He was worried that when they went back, Baiya would leave him again. If that was the case, he would rather stay on this island for the rest of his life. Baiya lowered her eyes. Her long eyelashes trembled slightly. She hugged Gu Lingqing and leaned on his shoulder. Looking forward, she promised, Gu Lingqing, you're the man I love the most in my life. You're the man I'll love even if I die. Thank you for letting me know the sweetness of love and being doted on. I'll definitely be with you. I won't go to someone else's place. Gu Lingqing raised the corner of his lips. He looked down at her lovingly and scratched her nose. Don't die. We won't die. We'll live to a ripe old age. We'll have many children and grandchildren. We'll be together forever. Baiya's eyes turned red. What he said was also what she dreamed of. She smiled and changed the topic. Let's go back now. I haven't had breakfast yet. I'm a little hungry. Okay. As soon as they left, they saw the pheasant from before passing by the door. Gu Lingqing smiled. This pheasant is destined for us. Xiaoya, wait for me here. As soon as he said that, he rushed out swiftly. Without Baiya holding him back, he caught the pheasant in a short while and shook it at Baiya. Baiya smiled as she looked at the beautiful pheasant in his hand. In the past, she thought that pheasants were not domesticated chickens. They looked the same as domesticated chickens. So, it turned out that pheasants were beautiful. They had colorful feathers, long and shiny. It was no wonder that the saying went, a pheasant turns into a phoenix, and not a domesticated chicken. If she could stay on this island for the rest of her life, she would like to keep this pheasant in a pen. When they returned to the beach, Gu Lingqing looked at the time. It was already 10 o'clock. They did not even have a fire. It was not easy to make a fire by drilling wood. Even though Gu Lingqing was a veteran, it took him half an hour to get the fire started. She took out the fish and pork leg from before to dry, while Gu Lingqing went to kill the pheasant. When Baya was done, she looked at Gu Lingqing. He was squatting by the beach, plucking the feathers of the pheasant. That needs to be boiled in hot water before plucking, Baya reminded him. Really? Gu Lingqing looked innocent. It was also his first time killing a pheasant. He put the pheasant in the pot and boiled it in hot water before taking it out. Be careful, it's hot, Baya reminded him. It's not hot. Gu Lingqing grabbed the pheasant and went to the beach to continue working. Baya did not do nothing. She boiled the last bit of water and chopped the bamboo into sections. She tied the 12 bamboo sections with a rope and wrapped the 2 sides of the bamboo tube with a rope to make a simple bucket. Gu Lingqing washed the pheasant and put it in the pot. Baya passed the bucket to him. We have no mineral water anymore. You can use this simple bucket first. Gu Lingqing took the bucket from Baya and passed the pistol to her. Keep it for self-defense. I don't need it. I'll go to bed later and wait for you to come back. Baya pushed Gu Lingqing's hand away. Gu Lingqing smiled. His eyes were covered with a layer of meaning. I really hope that there is a deeper meaning to this sentence. Baya did not mean that at first. After being pointed out by him, she knew the ambiguity of this sentence. She blushed instantly and explained. Didn't you say that it's safe in bed? Yes. Gu Lingqing did not joke with her. You go up first. I'll leave after you go up. Baya climbed onto the bed. Only then did Gu Lingqing leave safely. Chapter 308. Baya immediately got off the bed and ran towards the beach. Hey. She picked up the big leaves on the ground and waved them in the air, trying to get the fishing boat's attention. However, the fishing boat didn't seem to notice her and sailed away. How could this be? Baya looked at the back of the fishing boat dejectedly. Her shoulders drooped and her eyes dimmed. Xiaoya, why are you standing here? Gu Lingqing came back from fetching water and asked worriedly. Baya pointed at the sea. She could still see the shadow of the boat that was far away. Gu Lingqing hugged Baya's shoulder and comforted her. It's a good thing. At least it proves that there are boats passing by here. Maybe they didn't see you. After all, there aren't many people on the small fishing boat, and they are busy fishing. Baya nodded. That was the only thing she could do. She turned around and looked at Gu Lingqing. Not only did he fill the mineral water bottle with mineral water, but he also filled the bamboo tube with water. This water is very sweet. Hide it. Gu Lingqing opened the bottle and passed it to Baya. Baya took a sip. The water was indeed sweet. Nature's gift was amazing. There was actually such a spring in the sea. With Gu Lingqing around, Baya felt much better. I think we have to make something special on the beach. Otherwise, the fishing boat won't see it the next time, Baya suggested. It's simple and eye-catching. Either it's loud or it's very special. There are many big leaves on this island. We can connect the big green leaves with a rope and tie it to a bamboo pole 10 meters high. Then, we can tie the words SOS on it, and it should be seen. Let's do it. Let's go pick the leaves. I'll connect all the leaves, Baya said anxiously and pulled Gu Lingqing away. Gu Lingqing followed her dotingly. Why didn't I notice that you're an impatient person before? Everyone has an invisible personality and an obvious personality. Under special circumstances, they will display different personalities. For example, when many people are working, they will give off a feeling of being lively, positive, and joyful. However, when he returned home and faced his family, he might not want to talk. It's gloomy, Baya explained. Xiaoya, no matter what you become, I will still like you, Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Baya's eyes trembled. She knew what Gu Lingqing meant. She stopped, turned around, and looked at him. Baya's life is very painful. 3 years ago, he switched to a mental illness. In the 3 years he went to the United States to study, he couldn't cure himself. A doctor can't cure himself. After she came back, the things between you and Zhou Halen's child, her own child, almost killing you, and the fact that you can't be together. As her mental illness became more and more serious, she completely broke down. She has been dedicated to the research of hypnosis. She tried many times to hypnotize herself to forget you in the past, but she didn't succeed because she knew that she was hypnotizing herself. Under such a subconscious, she couldn't hypnotize herself at all. On the day you were released, she was brought to see you by Su Jiran. She was mocked and slandered by her family, friends, and ex-girlfriends. She couldn't be together with you and had to endure the slander, but she couldn't say the reason. She was in pain. I appeared. I wanted to help her, so I sent the notebook to you. I wanted to help her, so I sent it to you and threw away her bag. I walked and walked, but I realized that there seemed to be nowhere to go. Back then, the place where you forgot about her was in Jinyuan, and the place where the accident happened was also in Jinyuan. I wanted to go there. After walking for a few days, I was a little tired. While I was in a daze, I heard the sound of a horn. It scared me. At the same time, Bai came back. At that time, she was very confused. I remembered everything she had done, but she didn't know what I had done. She thought that there was something wrong with her mind. In fact, in medical terms, this is called a split personality. Maybe it's what you think of as a mental illness. However, in my opinion, Baya and I were independent individuals. We were two people, and I wanted to protect her. When she arrived at her friend's house, you appeared. When she saw you, she was very touched and happy. But when she thought that you couldn't be together, she felt very sad. She hurt you with her indifference, and you used your anger to tell her that you wanted to break up. She smashed things in despair. She was in so much pain that she wished she was dead. Then, I watched her hypnotize myself. I would never forget her pair of red eyes. They were so pitiful, pleading, helpless, reluctant, accusing, and miserable. I thought that she wanted to forget about you in the past, but she didn't. She just wanted me to finish what she wanted to finish. Baya lowered her eyes and paused. What did she want you to finish? Gu Lingqing asked. Baya raised her head and looked at Gu Lingqing. What she wanted to finish was to finish the work that she hadn't finished, to cure Bai Bing, to deal with Su Jiran, so that he couldn't hurt Gu Lingqing. Then, before she died, she had to leave City A, go to a place where no one could find her, die quietly, and not let anyone know that she was dead. Especially not let Gu Lingqing know. The fog dyed her eyes. Baya, when she hypnotized herself, she forgot to hypnotize her heart. She should have let her only become a tool for her task. Will you help Baya fulfill her wish? Baya asked. Yes. Gu Lingqing answered without thinking. Baya felt a burst of sourness flowing through her heart and into her blood. It was extremely sour. She sniffed. She said that she wanted to cure her mother. She said that she wanted to repay the kindness she owed. She said that she wanted to travel around the world. She said, Baya paused and looked at Gu Lingqing with burning eyes. She wanted Gu Lingqing to live well until her hair turned white. Live well until her hair turned white? Gu Lingqing looked at Baya suspiciously. Su Jiran has too many schemes. If you're not careful, you will fall into his trap. He is full of hostility towards you. I can only plan for you by staying by his side. Can you fulfill her wish? Baya asked. I don't need you to plan for me. I will be careful in the future. I won't give him any chance to take advantage of me again. If you stay by his side, I will live a life worse than death. Gu Lingqing held her hand tightly. I won't go to his side anymore. But you must promise me that no matter what happens, you must live well until your hair turns white. Can you do that? Baya stared at this question and asked. Gu Lingqing slightly raised the corner of his mouth. He held the side of her face with pity and gently stroked it with his thumb. We will do everything together. We will live well together until our hair turns white. Even if we die, we will be together. We will die together in the same cave and never be separated. Baya cried, and tears streamed down her cheeks. Chapter 309. If you die before me, I definitely won't seek death. I'll live well and forget about you. I'll find a new man to live with, Baya purposely said angrily. It's okay. You can live according to your heart. Every year on the anniversary of my death, come to my grave and let me see you, Gu Lingqing said gently. His pampering, his generosity, his wholehearted devotion his unrequited love, and his unfairness made her so sad, so sad. She didn't want Gu Lingqing to die. She couldn't bear for him to die. When a person died, there would be nothing left, not even a soul. Not only would they not be remembered by the future generations, they would also be talked about after meals. Baya lowered her head, trying not to cry out loud. She clenched her fists tightly. Because of her emotions, her shoulders were trembling. Gu Lingqing hugged Baya. "It's okay, silly girl. What's there to cry about? We're together now, and we'll be together in the future. We'll be together until our hair turns white. We'll have our children, and our children will have children, and this will continue on forever." Baya closed her eyes and hugged Gu Lingqing tightly. She stood there for 5 minutes. She finally stopped crying. She let go of Gu Lingqing and wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes. In the future, she wouldn't test him or beg him anymore. She already knew how he felt about her. She couldn't change his mind. She could only do what she felt was right. "Gu Lingqing, do you like the old Baya more or the current me more?" Baya asked. Gu Lingqing chuckled and said helplessly, "You, in my eyes, have always been you. So, I took advantage of Baya and made you fall in love with me?" Baya asked. "Xiaoya, I don't know how you define who you are and who you used to be. Your personality hasn't changed, the feeling you give me hasn't changed, your behavior hasn't changed, and the way you speak hasn't changed. If there's one thing that has changed, it's that you don't need to take sleeping pills and pills that affect your mental state anymore. You are you." Gu Lingqing confessed his love to Gu Lingqing. "Aren't you afraid that the old Baya would get angry if she heard this? You were the one in the past. You were the one before you grew up and transformed. Are you jealous of yourself?" Gu Lingqing laughed. Baya also stopped crying and smiled. She had always felt that she was born from Baya, not Baya. However, when Gu Lingqing said that the old Baya was the one before she grew up and transformed, she felt that the current her was Baya, the Baya who had become better. "You're so good at talking. No wonder so many women like you," Baya said. Her tone was resentful, but her heart was sweet. "I don't know how many women like me, and I don't want to provoke them. I only like you, and I only want to provoke you," Gu Lingqing confessed. Baya laughed. Her heart was sweeter than eating 10 kilograms of honey. "We seem to have forgotten to get down to business." Gu Lingqing replied. He held Baya's hand and went to pick the big leaves. The big leaves here were very big. They could be about 5 meters long and 40 centimeters wide. They picked more than 50 leaves and returned to the beach. Baya felt that something was wrong. "Hey, turn around." Gu Lingqing was puzzled. She turned her back to Baya. She squatted down and saw red. Just as she was worrying about it, a homemade sanitary pad was handed to her. Baya took it embarrassedly and put it on. Her pants were red and needed to be washed. She had to quickly weave a disposable little tiny pants with a rope. While she was knitting, Gu Lingqing washed the mushrooms and put them in the chicken soup. He continued to stew them over the fire. He made a big leaf flag for help and connected all 30 leaves together to form a very big flag. A gust of wind blew over. Baya looked at the sky. The east was dark and scary. Moreover, it was extending towards them at a very fast speed. "Gu Lingqing, do you think it's going to rain?" Baya asked. Gu Lingqing looked at the sky and frowned. "The storm will come in 2 hours. The wind won't be small. Should we go to the bamboo house to avoid the rain?" "Will the tide rise?" Baya asked. "The tide rise is caused by the gravity of the sun and moon. The storm will be strong and the waves will be big. It won't cause the tide rise. Looking at the condition of the trees here, it should not be flooded," Gu Lingqing explained. "Then I won't go to the bamboo house over there. Our house should be fine. If we put the wooden planks on top, it should be able to shelter us from the rain. The bamboo you use to cover the top is a little long, like the eaves of the house. The side facing the sea can be covered with the big leaf in your hand. As for the fire, we can move it under our house. There are 2 pieces of cloth to cover it. If not, we can use the umbrella." Baya did not want to leave. Her own grass nest was better than a gold or silver nest. She would be scared to live in a place with strangers. "All right then, help me pull the wooden planks up first," Gu Lingqing said. He took the torch and held Baya's hand to the house. Baya lit the fire in the middle of the stone. Gu Lingqing tied 8 ropes to the wooden planks. He climbed to the roof and pulled the ropes up. Baya lifted the wooden planks with all her strength. After the cloth planks were in the air, she climbed up the bamboo ladder and pushed the wooden planks up. It took more than half an hour to place the wooden planks on the roof. The wind was getting stronger. "Let's take the ingredients back and put them down there first," Baya said. Okay. They moved all the ingredients to the bottom of the house and used the leaves as a cushion. Baya also moved the pots back and put them on the ground first. The two remaining wooden planks were small. One was about 1.4 meters long and 1.2 meters high. The other one was about the same. Gu Lingqing stacked the two 1.4 meters together and blocked the door, leaving a gap of 50 centimeters for easy access. For safety, he folded the leaves that were 6 meters long and 5 meters wide. They became 5 meters long and 3 meters wide. The leaves were sandwiched between the two layers of wooden planks. Gu Lingqing found a few stones to hold the wooden planks down. He also moved the firewood to the side of the house. He covered the firewood with big leaves and held it down with stones. He only left a dozen pieces of dead wood piled up in the corner, away from the fire as much as possible. Baya looked at the sky. As far as she could see, it was dark. She had never seen such weather. It was eerie and scary. She was scared. "Xiaoya, stay in the house and don't come out later," Gu Lingqing reminded her. "What about you?" Baya was worried. "I still have something to do." "If you have something to do, let's do it together." Baya held Gu Lingqing's hand. Chapter 310. Baya regretted it now. She shouldn't have stayed here willfully. If she went to the bamboo house with Gu Lingqing, it should be safer. The bamboo house was surrounded by trees, which could block most of the wind. But now, it was definitely too late for them to go to the bamboo house. The sky was dark, not to mention the forest. It must be darker. They would get lost, and they couldn't bring a torch. Even if they could, it would be easily extinguished in such a strong wind. Once it rained, it would be extinguished even faster. The road was muddy, and the umbrella would become a burden. "I'm sorry, I should have listened to you." Baya apologized. "It's not too late to be obedient now." Gu Lingqing smiled lovingly. "Stay on the bed and don't come down. Wait for me." Baya climbed onto the bed. In the past, the bamboo ladder would be put on the bed, but Gu Lingqing was worried that she would come down to find him, so he put the ladder on the ground and left quickly. Baya's stomach hurt badly. She lay on the bed and curled up. The wind blew the leaves violently, and the leaves clamored to resist. Her ears were filled with the whistling of the wind, as if thousands of troops and horses were fighting. The wind, blowing through the gaps of the leaves, was stronger than she imagined. After about 15 minutes of crazy construction, the rain poured down and hit the wooden board with a pitter-patter. She could still feel the moisture coming in. She didn't know what Gu Lingqing was doing outside now. Did he hold an umbrella? Was he drenched in the rain? Was he in danger? Baya didn't have a watch. She only felt that without Gu Lingqing by her side, time passed like a year. The more she waited, the more anxious she became. Not only did the rain not seem to stop, but it was also getting heavier, and the wind was getting stronger. "Gu Lingqing, Gu Lingqing," Baya shouted, and her voice was also drowned in the sound of the rain. She wanted to get off the bed to find Gu Lingqing, but she was worried that she would be a burden to Gu Lingqing. But what if something happened to him? No one would help him. If something happened to him, she would feel guilty for the rest of her life. She lifted a corner, and a gust of wind blew in. The endurance of the leaf had reached its limit. First, a tear appeared on one of the leaves, and then a long strip was torn open. The leaf was split into two halves, and the lower half slid down. The wind and rain came in. Baya couldn't even open his eyes. He squinted and vaguely saw something moving in front of him. Because the sky was too dark and the rain was too heavy, she couldn't see clearly at all. She shouted, "Gu Lingqing, Gu Lingqing." There was a clap. Baya was startled when he saw something blocking in front of him. The wind had subsided and the rain had stopped. "Gu Lingqing," Baya shouted. "Xiaoya." Gu Lingqing's voice rang out. Baya calmed down when she heard Gu Lingqing's voice. "Where did you go?" "I've been gone for a long time." Gu Lingqing raised the torch and lit up the surroundings. She saw Gu Lingqing's whole body was wet, and there was tied bamboo behind him. You went to tie the bamboo. Gu Lingqing put the bamboo ladder on the bed. Baya came down from the ladder. The wind is too strong. I don't think the leaves can block it for long. Also, it's not convenient to go in and out. I still have some finishing work to do. You must be hungry. Eat first, Gu Lingqing explained. Baya held his arm and said worriedly, How much longer will it take? You're all wet. If I put the bamboo like this, the pressure on the roof of the house will be too strong. I need to borrow the big tree. It'll be done in about half an hour. Why don't you heat up the chicken soup first and wait for me to eat together? Okay, I'll heat up the chicken soup. Let's eat together. Baya walked to the bottom of the house. Because she didn't cook under the house, she just used stones to surround the fire. Baya adjusted the distance and shape of the stones. She chose 2 of the largest stones that were about the same height as the fulcrum to support the pot. She put the rest of the stones in front of the fire again to block the wind. Gu Lingqing sandwiched the wooden board that was originally blocking the bottom of the house between the new bamboo board and the tree trunk and tied it tightly. Previously, the top bamboo board was only exposed to the direction of the sea by 1 meter. Gu Lingqing climbed onto the bed again and pushed the top bamboo board out. He moved it forward by 20 centimeters to support the outside bamboo board. When everything was done, he came down from the bed. Baya handed the bamboo bowl with the chicken drumstick to Gu Lingqing and said apologetically, I'm sorry. I didn't think it through. I should have done these things earlier to prepare for a rainy day. In the end, I made a last-minute effort. Gu Lingqing took the bowl from Baya and sat down on the stone that Baya prepared. Take off your clothes. I'll dry them for you. Baya spread a large piece of fallen leaves on the ground. There's no hurry. You eat first. It's been 12 hours since you said you were hungry. Gu Lingqing said with distress. I've been too hungry. I don't feel hungry anymore. I'll eat in another 10 minutes. Dry your clothes first. If you catch a cold, who will protect me? Gu Lingqing thought it was reasonable. He took off his clothes and handed them to Baya. Baya spread Gu Lingqing's clothes on the stone in front of the fire to block the wind. She put the other pot outside and sat next to Gu Lingqing to drink the chicken soup. The chicken soup had been stewed for a long time. It was originally wild. With the addition of delicious mushrooms, it was very delicious. After Baya ate a bowl, she turned over Gu Lingqing's clothes and continued to dry them. Gu Lingqing ate 3 bowls. Baya also ate 2 bowls. The 2 of them finished a bowl of pheasant and mushroom stew. Baya put a linen cloth in her palm. She took the chicken soup pot down and put it outside. Then she took the pot that was put outside. The pot was already filled with rainwater. She added some firewood. In the past, there was a shortage of water. I was worried that there would be no water. Now, there's a lot of water, but I can't store it all at once. Baya sighed. Gu Lingqing smiled. My clothes should be dry now, right? Baya touched Gu Lingqing's clothes. They were dry and warm. In the cool, rainy days, they felt especially warm. She handed the clothes to Gu Lingqing. Take off your pants. If you feel cold, sit in front of the fire. Okay. Gu Lingqing responded and unbuckled his belt. This action was too natural. She felt a little uncomfortable. Carry it on your back. Gu Lingqing turned around. Baya put on a new sanitary pad. She blushed and threw it into the fire. She took Gu Lingqing's pants and laid them on the stone. She felt Gu Lingqing's gaze on her. It was very hot. She diverted her thoughts and asked, What time is it now? Gu Lingqing looked at the time on her watch. 19:15. Time flies. Baya sat down on the stone. Chapter 3:11. There are also 3 rooms downstairs, a kitchen, a woodshed, and a dining room. Then, I will build a 2-meter-high wall outside and dig a well. Our children can play in the yard every day, and we can also take our children to the beach every day and live a free and unfettered life. We can live a carefree life, Gu Lingqing said with imagination. Baya listened to Gu Lingqing's words. His voice was deep, like the last note played by a cello. It was very pleasant to listen to. A sentence flashed through her mind. I have a family facing the sea, with flowers blooming in the warmth of spring. She moved the stone to his side and sat down beside him. She hugged Gu Lingqing's arm and leaned her head on his shoulder. Actually, we all have our own responsibilities. Your parents, your army, your promise. My parents, my promise, and my wish. However, as long as we're alive, there's hope. I promise you, after we've finished what we have to do, if you still want to come to this island, I'll accompany you. Gu Lingqing looked down at Baiya. His eyes softened and he raised the corner of his mouth. I suddenly feel grateful to LV Xingzhou. If it weren't for him, I don't know how you'd torture me. Baiya lowered her eyes and looked at the steaming pot noodles. All kinds of complicated thoughts flowed through her eyes. She used to resent the unfairness of fate, but she also thanked the heavens for their kindness and let her get love. Now, when she thought of Gu Lingqing after her death, she felt very pitiful and then resented the heavens. However, what was the use of resenting? In life, it was still up to oneself to choose how to go on. When she realized that her face was wet, she realized that she was crying again. Why are you crying? Gu Lingqing asked worriedly. He turned her shoulders so that she was facing him. Baiya looked at Gu Lingqing with red eyes. I thought of our son. I think he's definitely not dead. He's still alive and safe, but I don't know where he is. I want to find him. I wonder if this wish can come true. As for our child, I've actually thought about it. If it's man-made, it won't be done by Su Jiran, your father, or my parents. But it's most likely done by someone on my side. If we can return alive this time, I promise you that within a year, I will definitely find our child, Gu Lingqing promised. It seems like we really have a lot of things to do. By his side, Gu Lingqing held her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. No matter what it is, we'll do it together. We'll definitely be able to solve everything. Baiya didn't say anything. He couldn't bear it, so he closed his eyes and dozed off. Hearing that, Baiya did not reply. Gu Lingqing looked at her. Thinking that she had fallen asleep, she wanted to carry her. Baiya opened his eyes. Gu Lingqing smiled gently. Go to sleep if you're tired. Okay. Baiya climbed up the bamboo ladder and lay down. Gu Lingqing draped his clothes over her. It's cold tonight. Go to sleep first. I'll add some firewood and come up to accompany you. Baiya didn't sleep. After waiting for Gu Lingqing to come up, she draped his clothes over him and took the initiative to hug him, nestling in his arms. Baiya wasn't clingy. Even after sex, she wouldn't be so clingy. In fact, he liked her initiative and her clinginess. This way, it would make him feel that he was loved and needed by her. He kissed her on the forehead. They went to sleep early. After some time, Baiya woke up. The storm had already stopped. There was no pitter-patter of rain, only the sound of water dripping from the leaves. She smelled the fragrant air and took a deep breath. Gu Lingqing also opened his eyes. Morning, lazy little pig. What time is it? Baiya asked. Gu Lingqing glanced at his phone. It's 6:35. Do you want to sleep a little more? Baiya shook her head. She felt wet and uncomfortable. She wanted to get up and change to another one. Gu Lingqing went down first and stood at the bottom to protect her. After Baiya came down, he turned around and added some firewood. Baiya saw that the fire was still burning. She guessed that Gu Lingqing had gotten up several times during the night. After the storm, it should be difficult to walk in the forest. Why don't we take a look in the afternoon? Baiya asked. Gu Lingqing brought in the pot from outside and put it on the fire. After breakfast, I'll go out alone to cut down trees. There are many big trees on this island. It's not difficult to find a tree that can be made into a boat. I should be back before dark. You stay at home and don't go out, understand? You're going out alone? Baiya was a little worried. Gu Lingqing smiled gently. I have a gun and knife with me. Don't worry. Walk slowly. Be careful of snakes and insects, Baiya reminded him. Don't worry. What are we having for breakfast? Fish soup or pork ribs? Gu Lingqing asked. Pork ribs. I've thought of a way. We could bring a bag of sand onto the boat and bury the fish in the sand. If we expose the fish to the sun, the fish will be cooked. However, the pork won't be cooked, right? Gu Lingqing nodded. You're right. Let's have pork ribs then. Everything is ready now. We only lack the boat. Baiya took out the pork ribs and poured them into the pot. The conditions were harsh and the water was scarce. They had washed it last time, so they didn't need to wash it this time. Gu Lingqing went out and put the wet wood on the beach to dry again. He found more than 10 pieces of wood that were still considered dry and put them in the house. Go and find some trees or leaves with a lot of fibers. I can weave the word rope, Baya said to Gu Lingqing. It's probably moist now. Is your abdomen better? You can rest for a day, Gu Lingqing said with concern. It's better now. I can put on a rock to dry first. I have nothing to do when you're gone. I'm bored, Baya pleaded. Got it. Gu Lingqing went out and chopped 2 pieces. He put them on a rock. The pork ribs were almost done. Baya put the remaining mushrooms into the pot. Gu Lingqing passed her a few leaves. What are these? Baya was surprised. Put it in your mouth and chew it. Then spit out. I found it yesterday. It's like toothpaste. It can strengthen your teeth. Gu Lingqing threw a few leaves into her mouth, chewed it, and spat it out. Baya chewed it too. It was cool and bitter. Gu Lingqing left after breakfast. Before he left, Baya picked out most of the pork ribs and put them in a bamboo tube for him to take away. Wait for me at home, Gu Lingqing instructed. He kissed her on the forehead and turned to leave. After some time, Baya was still weaving rope when she heard Su Jiran's voice. Xiaoya. Her heart tightened, and she looked up in surprise. Chapter 312. Baya stood up in shock. The knitting rope in her hands fell to the ground. She asked in surprise, Why are you here? I'll take you away first. We'll talk on the boat, Su Jiran said and jumped in. Baya stood still, her brows furrowed, and her breathing became uneven. Leave? What about Gu Lingqing? If she told Su Jiran that Gu Lingqing was here? No, Su Jiran would not take Gu Lingqing away. He might even kill Gu Lingqing here. She could not tell Su Jiran that Gu Lingqing was here too. If she said that she would not leave, Su Jiran would definitely be suspicious. He would not leave either. When Gu Lingqing came back, he would meet Gu Lingqing. Wait for me outside. I'll pack up and leave, Baya said. Su Jiran looked at the simple little house. From the bamboo board to the firewood in the corner and the pig leg on the ground, his eyes became colder every time he saw something. He squinted and glanced at Baya. His pale face had replaced the joy he had when he saw her just now. Who else lives here besides you? Su Jiran asked. I live alone, Baya answered. You build all these? Su Jiran did not believe it. He looked at Baya's eyes. Baya looked at Su Jiran calmly. From the color of the bamboo, Su Jiran would not believe her if she said that this house was here when she came. Yes, Baya answered. Su Jiran sneered and looked at the food. Where's the pig leg over there? Did you hunt it as well? I asked someone else for it. There are other families living on this island. If you don't believe me, I can take you there now, Baya said coldly, staring at Su Jiran without blinking. She thought that if Su Jiran insisted on going, she would take him to the bamboo house and pretend to faint halfway. After that, everything would depend on the will of the heavens. Su Jiran pursed his lips and put his arm around Baya's waist to pull her to his side. Since you've told me so much, I'll definitely believe you. There's nothing to clean up here. Are you going to take these pork legs and fish away? My period is coming. I don't think you have any female products on your ship, right? Baya asked. Su Jiran was even more surprised. You're on your period. How do you solve it here? Wait for me. Baya climbed onto the bed and opened a sanitary napkin. She scattered the ashes inside and wrote one word. Wait. She came down with the other sanitary napkins and said to Su Jiran, Let's go. Su Jiran looked at the bed suspiciously. Baya was afraid that he would find out something, so she went out first. Su Jiran brought 6 of his men and stood in 2 rows, standing at attention. Su Jiran's white cruise ship was parked on the sea. Under the sunlight, it reflected a dazzling light. She estimated that it would take more than 6 hours for her to go back. If she informed Song Shiyu to pick her up, it would be 12 hours later. If Gu Lingqing came back too late and it was too dark, he would not be able to see the words she left on the bed. If he could not find her, he would think that she had gone out to look for her. She still had to leave a mark for him. Why aren't you leaving? Su Jiran stood behind her and asked. Baya turned around and looked at Su Jiran. It's not a pity for those fish. I caught them with a net. Those wild boar legs are very rare. It's a pity that we didn't take them with us. We'll be back for more than 6 hours. I'll make wild boar meat for you. Okay, Su Jiran replied. Baya walked towards the house. Su Jiran looked at Baya's back and ordered his men beside him. You stay on the island with 2 people. See who lives with Baya. If it's a man, no matter who he is, kill him. Yes. Baya returned to the small house. She took a piece of wood that had not burned out and wrote on a stone, left by boat. Wait. She covered the stone with the leaves, afraid that Su Jiran would come in and find out. She took the 2 boar legs and walked out. She saw Su Jiran standing alone on the beach. She lowered her eyes and walked towards him. Su Jiran took the boar leg from her hands and picked it up to size it up. This boar leg looks good. Are there a lot of wild animals on this island? I've been on the island for 4 days. I haven't seen any wild animals, but there are a lot of fish and crabs, Baya said simply and walked towards the deck. Su Jiran followed behind her. After boarding the boat, he handed the boar leg to his men. Baya walked straight to the cockpit and asked casually, Are you the one driving the boat? Su Jiran looked at her coldly and did not stop her. Baya walked to the door of the cockpit and saw 2 people in uniforms sitting inside. She looked at the nautical chart and noted down the latitude and longitude of this place. So you're not the one driving the boat. Baya smiled slightly and looked at Su Jiran. Su Jiran's lips curled into a smile, but his eyes were cold. He already knew why she came to the cockpit. Xiaoya, do you remember what you promised me? Baya's body trembled, and she looked at Su Jiran with a dark expression. I remember. Su Jiran put his hand on her waist gently. We haven't seen each other for so long. I'm afraid you won't remember. Don't do anything that you'll regret. I've given you a few chances, and you've used up your last one. Do you understand? Baya lowered her eyes. Her long eyelashes left a black silhouette under her eyelids, covering the flowing light in her eyes. She had already made up her mind. Even if she only had 20 days to live, she would spend 19 days with Gu Lingqing. She did not want to hurt him anymore. One day at a time was one day at a time. She was compromising now because she had no choice but to be found by him. Also, she could only find someone to save Gu Lingqing when she returned. You haven't told me how you found me. Baya changed the topic. A fishing boat called the police. It said that it saw a girl crying for help on an isolated island. It even took a photo. I saw it and thought it looked like you. So I came over, Su Jiran explained. Call the police? No wonder the fishing boat didn't come close. It was very safe. If you didn't cry for help, I would have thought that you ran away again. I almost issued a global arrest warrant, Su Jiran said jokingly, but his eyes did not look like he was joking at all. That fisherman definitely didn't call the police at the Bell and Drum District Police Station. I was framed by the Bell and Drum District Police Chief, Chen Bin. He's LV Xingzhou's man, and I know that LV Xingzhou is the mastermind behind the family extermination case, Baya said solemnly. Do you have any proof? If you don't, no one will believe your words. After all, the people you're targeting are the Jinyuan City Bell and Drum District Police Chief and the governor of Jie Province. Chapter 313. I don't have any evidence. Have you eaten? Is there a place to cook on your ship? I'll cook for you. Baya changed the topic. She just wanted to reach the shore safely and find a chance to inform Song Shiyu. Not yet. Follow me. Su Jiran turned around and stopped after taking 2 steps. Baya also stopped and kept a safe distance from him. Su Jiran glanced at Baya with a cold gaze and ordered, Take 2 steps forward. Baya knitted her brows and took 2 steps forward. Su Jiran took a big step forward and hugged her waist, pulling her to his side. Why are you so distant? She lifted her head to look at him. 3 years had passed, but the passage of time had not left any traces on Su Jiran's face. Just based on his appearance, he was still as handsome as ever. His pair of flirtatious eyes shone with a seductive luster. She still remembered the first time they met. Her mother had a relapse and bumped into him. Not only did he not target her, but he also helped her and allowed her mother to receive good treatment. Before they got married, he helped her find a job and solve her problems at work. He sent flowers to her company every day. When she worked overtime, He would send her supper. In winter, when her hands were cold, he would hold her hand and put it in his pocket. She remembered all the things he did for her. It was just that those things were deliberately planned by him. After they got married, she fell into endless darkness. She and Su-jiron did not have a good beginning, so naturally, there would not be a good ending. Now, he was just possessive and conquering her. Love? It had long been lost in the river of time. I haven't bathed or washed my hair for a few days. Don't you think I smell? Baya said indifferently. Su-jiron sniffed her body and then her neck. He sniffed again. His breath fell on her skin. She felt itchy and took a step back. This action completely infuriated Su-jiron. He grabbed her chin and kissed her on the lips. Baya was shocked and pushed Su-jiron away. A sharp glint flashed past Su-jiron's eyes. He rushed over like a thunderstorm. Arrogant and domineering, he lifted Baya up. Baya sensed the danger and screamed, "Let me go!" Su-jiron's sharpness grew. He said in a sinister tone, "Why should I let you go? You are my woman. I have given you too many chances and time. I won't let you go again. I won't let you go." "Don't be like this," Baya said sharply. His voice was trembling. He kicked the door open, threw Baya on the bed, and untied his tie. Baya's eyes were wide open. They were filled with fear and panic. She rolled down from the bed and hid at the side of the bed. She looked at Su-jiron defensively. Su-jiron sneered and said coldly, "Last time you said your aunt was here. It has been a few days since you left. I don't believe you haven't recovered." Baya trembled and clenched her fists. She really wanted to jump off the boat and end it all. However, Gu Lingqing was still on the deserted island. She wanted to inform others to rescue Gu Lingqing. She could die a worthy death. "I really can't. I was forced to fall into the sea last time, and I haven't recovered. Su-jiron, don't do this." Baya begged. "Don't do this?" "Ha!" Su-jiron sneered and walked forward. Baya stood up subconsciously and stepped back. A crack appeared in Su-jiron's eyes. He said sternly, "Don't do this," or "But don't you want to do this? You never thought of giving yourself to me. Why should I give myself to you? How did you treat me when we were married?" Baya shouted back. "When I was young and frivolous, I was blinded by hatred. When I was young and frivolous, I was blinded by hatred. I've said that I've changed. How did I treat you? How did Gu Lingqing treat you? Gu Lingqing was the one who brought you more pain. At least I didn't have children with other women. Gu Lingqing still has Zhou Heilan's child." Su-jiron took off his clothes and walked toward Baya. "You forced me, hurt the person I love, and injected poison into me. This is how you treat me. Do you think I will fall in love with you? Gu Lingqing brought me pain because he lost his memory. I didn't blame him at all. In your heart, he is good and I am bad. What else can I say?" Su-jiron was completely crazy. He really loved her. She didn't know that after she disappeared, he hadn't slept a wink. He had already mobilized everyone to look for her. He loved her, so he tolerated and forgave her again and again. He loved her, so he offended Gu Lingqing. One must know that Gu Lingqing's power and background were very powerful. However, she didn't believe in his love at all. In her eyes, Gu Lingqing was good and he was bad. His heart hurt so much that it was about to explode. Was the heavens punishing him? Punishing him for toying with too many people's feelings in the past. So he was destined to never get the woman he wanted. Su-jiron clenched his teeth. "That's right. I, Su-jiron, have never loved you, Baya. I just don't want my things to be taken away by others, and I don't want Gu Lingqing to take them away. If they're destined to be taken away, then I will destroy them, and I will also destroy the person who took them away from me. Let me tell you, Baya, you are just a plaything of mine. Now, whether you're on your period or not, I have decided to F***CK you. Also, do you think I don't know? The person who lives on the island with you is Gu Lingqing. Other than Gu Lingqing, you are not willing to live with other men. You even went to the cockpit to look at the latitude and longitude of the deserted island. You wanted to inform his people to save him. Do you think Gu Lingqing will live past tonight? I'm sorry, but my people are already lying in ambush on the island. He is dead meat. I will not let him live. If you obey me, I will give you a way out. If you disobey me, I will make sure that you and Gu Lingqing die far away." Chapter 314. Baya, if you dare to jump, I, Su Jiran, swear to you that I will make Bai Bing, Lu Shuang, and everyone you care about die with you, Su Jiran warned. Baya smiled, and tears flowed from her eyes. The people I care about include you. Su Jiran paused. His soul seemed to have been hit by something violently, and he was in a trance. Baya did not hesitate and jumped off the boat. Her whole body hit the surface of the sea, and it hurt a little. However, the pain was not in her heart, so it did not matter. She watched herself slowly fall. The surroundings were very quiet, so quiet that she could hear the sound of gurgling in her ears. The seawater was very blue, as if it could wash away all the filth on a person's body. Finally she died. If she had known that she would live such a painful life after living for 3 years, she would not have come back to life. It was a pity that she dragged Gu Lingqing down, dragged him down. It was all her obsession, her selfishness, her bad luck, her fault. If there was a next life, she would definitely not drag Gu Lingqing down again. The oxygen in her lungs was getting lesser and lesser. She clenched her fists, opened her mouth, and inhaled a lot of liquid. Her nose, chest, lungs, brain, and entire body felt so uncomfortable that it was about to explode. Vaguely, she saw Su Jiran swimming towards her. The last bit of breath flowed out of her body. Her body was as light as the seaweed in the sea, sinking to the bottom of the sea with the waves. Su Jiran sped up, thinking that she would die. His heart ached so much that he could not breathe. He held her shoulders and swam upwards. 2 minutes later, he brought Baya out of the sea. Baya's face was pale, and her lips were purple. She hung her head as if she was lifeless. Su Jiran was very flustered, and he shook Baya's shoulders. Baya, don't die. I won't allow you to die. Do you hear me? If you die, I will definitely not let Gu Lingqing go. If you wake up now, I will ask them to let Gu Lingqing go. Do you hear me? Baya was still unconscious and motionless. Commander, one of his men shouted, lowering the ladder. Su Jiran carried her with one arm and stepped onto the rope ladder. His men pulled him up. He immediately performed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on Baya. After 10 times, Baya still did not wake up. As long as Baya did not wake up, he would not stop. After a long time, Baya coughed softly. Su Jiran looked at Baya in surprise. She was still unconscious. His eyes dimmed again. One night, Su Jiran sat at the head of the bed and looked at the unconscious Baya. His eyes were filled with emotions. The doctor said that all her vital signs were normal. There was no water in her lungs or brain, but she just wouldn't wake up. Xiaoya, let me tell you a piece of good news. None of my men came back, so Gu Lingqing should still be alive, Su Jiran said. Baya still had no reaction at all. She was as beautiful as a statue. Su Jiran felt helpless. He caressed her head. In the past, I wanted you to stay by my side. Don't run away anymore. Don't run to Gu Lingqing's side. Now you're by my side, but in such a way. You said that I don't love you. If I don't love you, why would I do so much for you? There are many people who are prettier than you, younger than you, and more beautiful than you. You don't even have a good temper. Even if you're a toy, you're not qualified. You and I aren't young anymore. I don't have time to play love games. Do you know, Xiaoya? I really love you. So, don't worry, I won't let you die. Even if you're in a vegetative state, I'll take care of you for the rest of your life. The only response he got was silence. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door. Su Jiran looked at the door in annoyance. Come in. Commander-in-Chief, Gu Lingqing is back. He's outside with his men. He's asking for you. Su Jiran's subordinate, Hulan, reported. Su Jiran twitched the corner of his mouth and smiled. He asked me for her, so I have to give her to him. Who does he think I am? Where's his place? How many men and weapons did he bring? He brought a few hundred men, and they're all armed. There are also 10 tanks. It's a big battle formation, Hulan said worriedly. What are you afraid of? Do you think my men and weapons are all vegetarians? If they step into my villa, kill them on the spot, Su Jiran ordered sternly. Commander-in-Chief. Hulan risked her life to shout. She lowered her head and said, I don't think it's worth it for a vegetative state. Su Jiran slapped her. What do you mean by it's not worth it for a vegetative state? The vegetative state lying on the bed is my wife. Listen to my orders and prepare for war. Su Jiran's phone rang. He saw that it was the president's and picked it up. Jiran, what's going on? Gu Lingqing brought a large group of people to your doorstep to ask for you. Who are you hiding? The president asked, puzzled. He wants my wife. If I give my wife to him, I'll lose face. I won't hand her over to him. Let's start the war, Su Jiran said with certainty. No, Jiran, listen to me. If the internal conflict is so intense, not only will it affect the unity of the country and other parties, it will also cause international speculation and enemy countries to take advantage of the situation. It will also affect country A's status in the international community. I don't suggest starting a war. Talk to Gu Lingqing. His attitude is too firm. He's saying that I ordered you to do it, and he's trying to frame him. After all, he's the leader of the special forces and your actions represent me. So, if you can't negotiate in half an hour, I'll withdraw my armed forces from your place, the president said apologetically. Su Jiran immediately understood the main point. You mean you'll help Gu Lingqing and not me? I'm not helping Gu Lingqing. It's just that if you start a war, it will really affect the unity of the country. I can only withdraw your armed forces to maintain peace, the president explained. Su Jiran understood and sneered. Gu Lingqing's people listened to Gu Lingqing and not the president. The president couldn't do anything about it, and he couldn't stop it. Moreover, he was more afraid of offending Gu Lingqing. However, he was different. To put it bluntly, he was the president's dog. Many people could replace his position. At a critical moment, the president would definitely sacrifice him. Su Jiran walked out of the car. Gu Lingqing also got out of the car. He walked in front of Gu Lingqing and went straight to the point. Do you know why Baiya still didn't choose to be with you when you were released? Baiya chose to be with me. Now, you're the one who imprisoned her. Su Jiran, I must take her away today, Gu Lingqing said firmly. Take her away? Do you want to take her body away? Su Jiran said coldly. Gu Lingqing's eyes were sharp. If she dies, I'll bury you with her. Chapter 315. As soon as Su Jiran finished his words, Gu Lingqing punched at Su Jiran's face. Su Jiran retreated a few steps and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with his thumb. He sneered and a sharp glint flashed in his eyes as he punched towards Gu Lingqing. The wind from his punch was strong and his speed was fast. He had wanted to beat up Gu Lingqing for a long time. When Baiya was still his woman, she came to provoke him and made him a cuckold. He had endured it until now. Gu Lingqing turned sideways and dodged Su Jiran's punch. He held his arm and pushed him along the direction of his strength. Su Jiran realized Gu Lingqing's intention. He held back the strength of his punch and rushed past Gu Lingqing. At the same time, he kicked backward. Gu Lingqing stepped back and dodged Su Jiran's kick. Gu Lingqing also loosened his grip on Su Jiran. Su Jiran punched again. Gu Lingqing pushed his arm away and also punched at Su Jiran's head. Su Jiran lowered his head and dodged. When his elbow hit Gu Lingqing, he was also kicked by Gu Lingqing. After that, the two of them wrestled with each other. Su Jiran's soldiers and Gu Lingqing's soldiers looked at each other. They looked at each other and then looked at their own boss. With a bang, the sound of a pistol was heard. Everyone looked at the person who fired the gun. Su Zheng and Gu Lingqing's father both brought a group of people. What a scandal! Gu Lingqing's father, Gu Tianheng, said angrily. Get up, all of you, Su Zheng also said sternly. Su Jiran stood up lazily and patted the dust on his body. Gu Lingqing also stood up. He tightened his jaw and looked ahead with a cold expression. His eyes were filled with disdain for all heroes. Follow me, Gu Tianheng said to Gu Lingqing. Let's go home and drink milk. Su Jiran said sarcastically. Gu Lingqing's sharp gaze swept over Su Jiran. Now he knew why Baiya chose to leave him after he was released, why Baiya insisted on leaving the deserted island, and why Baiya made him promise to live well after she died. He knew that Su Jiran was despicable, but he didn't expect him to be despicable enough to poison Baiya. If you have something to say, come at me. Don't target Baya. Gu Lingqing said sternly. I can do whatever I want with my woman. What does that have to do with you? Also, if I have something to do with you? Sorry, you are nothing in my eyes. I don't have time to waste on you. Su Jiran retorted. Gu Lingqing grabbed Su Jiran's collar and pulled him up. Where is Baya now? I want to see her. Su Jiran raised his chin and curled up the corner of his mouth. He said evilly, She is my woman. Why should I let you see her whenever you want to? I won't let you see her. I won't let you see her for the rest of your life. Gu Lingqing clenched his teeth and pulled Su Jiran in front of him. You try to kill me first. If I take you to the military court, I promise you won't see the sun tomorrow. Su Jiran was not afraid at all. He let go of Gu Lingqing's hand and straightened his clothes. He said lazily, If you have evidence, you can take me to the military court. But don't blame me for not reminding you. If I die, I will let Baya die with me. Gu Lingqing locked Su Jiran in a death grip. Su Jiran guessed it right. Firstly, there was no evidence. Secondly, Baya was his weakness. For Baya, he would not take Su Jiran to the military court. This pressure shrouded his heart. He could not vent it. He clenched his fists so hard that the veins on the back of his hands were bulging. Su Jiran seemed to have seen through it. He smiled arrogantly and arrogantly. What's mine is mine. Others can't get it no matter how hard they try. Gu Lingqing punched Su Jiran's face again. He spat out a mouthful of blood. One of his teeth was knocked out. F***CK. Su Jiran was enraged. He picked up his gun and aimed it at Gu Lingqing's head. He loaded the gun. Gu Qianhong's eyes narrowed. He picked up his gun and aimed it at Su Jiran. Do you think the Gu family is jealous? The soldiers saw that the situation was not right. They all picked up their guns. Their foreheads and noses were covered in cold sweat. If anyone opened fire, there would definitely be countless casualties. Everyone held their breath. The surroundings were eerily quiet. Su Zheng looked at Gu Tianheng, then looked at Su Jiran. His phone rang. When he saw that it was from the president, he quickly picked it up. Old Gu, Lingqing, Jiran, the president called. He wants us to go to the president's palace. It's urgent, Su Zheng said. Gu Tianheng was the first to take out his gun. Su Jiran looked at Gu Lingqing coldly. He didn't want to take out his gun. Gu Lingqing pursed his lips. He was neither servile nor overbearing. He was fearless in the face of danger. He looked at death calmly. His eyes were focused and sharp. He had an awe-inspiring dignity. Su Jiran thought of the president's words. If he couldn't solve it in half an hour, his people would be dismissed. Only with power could he be invincible. He took out his gun. That's good. The president wants us to go now. I've arranged a plane. Let's go together, Su Zheng said to everyone. The roaring sound of the plane's engine could be heard from afar. Gu Lingqing looked at the window of Su Jiran's villa. He narrowed his eyes. There was an obscure look in his dark eyes. If he guessed correctly, Baya was inside. He should protect his woman. He didn't know how Xiaoyu was doing now. President Palace Su Jiran was there. Gu Lingqing was there. Gu Tianheng was there. Su Zheng was there. Shun Yin was there. The president said with a smile, We're all brothers. Why can't we solve it? Why do we need to fight? Su Jiran kidnapped my wife. It's not too much for me to ask for my wife back, right? Gu Lingqing asked coldly. Su Jiran smiled. She's your ex-wife. Your ex-wife is also my ex-wife. She's willing to be with me. Are you going to snatch her away from me? Are you really going to snatch her away from me? You injected the virus into my wife. If she was willing, why did you do it? Gu Lingqing asked coldly. That's because she's willing. Whether she was willing or not, let her say it herself. If she wasn't willing, then please detoxify her immediately and don't imprison her anymore. Can you do that? Gu Lingqing asked powerfully. The problem is that she can't say it now. She accidentally fell into the sea. After I rescued her, she's been in a coma until now. Su Jiran said coldly. What? How did she fall into the sea? Gu Lingqing was shocked. That's the question for you. She wanted to go with me, but you didn't let her. You pushed her into the sea, Su Jiran said coldly. Gu Lingqing slammed the table and stood up. He said sternly, You're talking nonsense. Did you push her into the sea? Su Jiran leaned on the chair lazily. If I push her into the sea, why would I rescue her? Su Jiran. Gu Lingqing was so angry that he was about to explode. His whole body was like a taut string that could explode at any time. Su Jiran's phone rang. He saw that it was Hu Lan's and answered, "What's up?" Chapter 316. What? Su Jiran took his phone and walked to the side. He lowered his voice and said, "You said that Xiaoyu is missing. How did she disappear?" "I don't know. I went to Miss Bai's room just now. There was no one on the bed." Hu Lan said, trembling. "She woke up? Look around the villa." "She shouldn't have gone far," Su Jiran said anxiously. "We've searched every corner of the villa. We've checked the CCTV too. No one walked out of Miss Bai's room," Hu Lan reported. Su Jiran understood. He swiped his phone and strode towards Gu Lingqing. He picked up Gu Lingqing's collar. Gu Lingqing pushed him away and said sternly, "Get lost." "Gu Lingqing, are you crazy? Without me, Baiyu wouldn't be able to live for more than a month. You actually got someone from the shadows to kidnap her?" Su Jiran said angrily. Gu Lingqing frowned. "What do you mean by that? Xiaoyu was kidnapped?" Su Jiran saw the clues. His heart skipped a beat. He had a bad premonition and a chill ran down his spine. "It wasn't you?" Gu Lingqing was also worried. "Where is Xiaoyu now? Who would kidnap her?" "Su Jiran, how many people have you offended?" Su Jiran sat on the sofa. His eyes flickered quickly and his face was pale. He had indeed offended a lot of people. However, which one of them didn't have the ability to kidnap Baiyu? "It really wasn't you?" Gu Lingqing was anxious and worried. He ran towards the door. "I'll deal with you after I find Baiyu." Su Jiran saw that Gu Lingqing had left. He nodded to the president and said, "Mr. President, my wife has been kidnapped. I have to leave first." Before the president could recover, Su Jiran was already running toward the door. Gu Tianheng looked at Gu Lingqing's back as he walked away and said angrily, "Our family is unfortunate to have provoked a jinx." "What a jinx?" He also stood up. He wanted to find Baiyu before they did. Once he killed Baiyu, he would not have to worry. "Mr. President, I'll be leaving first." Seeing that Gu Tianheng was leaving, Su Zheng followed suit. "Old Gu, wait for me." Only Shun Yin and the president were left in the room. Who is that woman? How could she make Su Jiran and Gu Lingqing fall head over heels in love with her? The president asked in surprise. Shun Yin smiled coquettishly. "That's a good thing. Gu Lingqing and Su Jiran are restraining and suppressing each other. If Gu Lingqing had married Su Zheng's daughter, Gu Lingqing would be the president instead of me." "You're right. But will it affect the internal unity in the long run?" Gu Lingqing has the military's morale, and Su Jiran is cruel and merciless. Both of them are not easy to deal with. You'll be in office this year, but you're still young. You can't have any accidents, the president said worriedly. Shun Yin swirled the wine glass elegantly and looked at the red liquid in the glass charmingly. He said confidently, "What if I have all of their weaknesses in my hands?" "What do you mean?" The president did not quite understand. Shun Yin smiled meaningfully. His eyes were unparalleled and full of confidence. The president saw that he did not say anything and nodded. He was quite satisfied with his son's performance in the past few years. "It's good that you have your own plans. Remember these words from your father. A lack of forbearance in small matters will spoil great plans. You must be ruthless and not soft-hearted. You're an emperor. You must prioritize national affairs. You must pay equal attention to kindness and authority. Check and balance are the most important. Know yourself and know your enemy. Only then can you win every battle." "Okay," Shun Yin answered. "By the way, after you take office, marry Princess Anna of Country K. Country K is very important to our stability in the international market and is also an important diplomatic support for our country. In addition, her mother is the Princess Royal of Country S. Country S is a big country with oil and mineral resources. She needs to visit her uncle more often," the president told him. Shun Yin looked down. His charming eyes were dark and gloomy. He put down the wine glass and said, "Dad, Have you ever thought of marrying Su Jiran's mother? The president shook his head. I can distinguish between national affairs. If mother asks you to break off your relationship with Xiong Dani, will you do so? Shen Yin asked. I will, but your mother is very virtuous. She is well-educated and tolerant. I'm very lucky to have her. When the president mentioned his wife, his face was full of tenderness. Shen Yin chuckled. I saw a joke the last time. The wife asked her husband, if your mother and I fell into the river at the same time, who would you save first? The husband asked, your father and I went to visit prostitutes together and were caught at the same time. You only have enough money to bail out one person. Who would you save first? What do you mean? The president asked. Shen Yin smiled. Since she is already very lucky, I should treat her better. I'll take my leave first. The president was speechless. Shen Yin stood up and adjusted his clothes. He looked at the president. Soon, you will no longer be the president. You can retire and not be responsible for the country. Will you marry Su Jiran's mother? The president shook his head. Shen Yin did not say anything. He turned around and left. 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, spring passed, and autumn came. 2 years had passed. Gu Lingqing did not find Baiya. Su Jiran did not find Baiya either. Gu Lingqing caught Chen Bin, the fisherman, and the assassin. Lu Xingzhou was sentenced to death. In the same year, Luoyang City and the people from Xinjiang Construction Company were also sentenced to death. Xing Bachuan took advantage of his position to seek personal gains of up to 1.3 billion yuan. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison and deprived of political rights for life. Xing Jinyan was sentenced to 13 years in prison and all his assets were confiscated. The strange thing was that Lu Xingzhou and Luoyang City did not mention anything about the massacre of the village. Even though they were sentenced to death, they did not say that they had anything to do with him. Therefore, among the 5 people who massacred the village, other than Governor Cheng, Luoyang City, Lu Xingzhou, and Xing Bachuan, there was one more person. There was no clue at all. Gu Lingqing vaguely felt that the person who disappeared in the end must be someone of high status and power. He was so important that even a sinister person like Lu Xingzhou did not dare to mention him. Could Xiaoye have been taken away by that person? Unfortunately, that person and Xiaoye seemed to have vanished from the world. There was no news at all. During the first year of Baiya's disappearance, Gu Lingqing often woke up from his dreams. Every time, he dreamed that Baiya's face was covered in blood and he was begging him for help. When he woke up, he was at his wits' end again. Alcohol and cigarettes became necessities in his life. Because of excessive drinking, he had a gastric hemorrhage. He went to the hospital for emergency treatment and almost died. He was still alive. Subconsciously, he wanted to go with Baiya. After he was saved, he continued to drink and smoke. He was depressed until one day, a farmer sent a child to him. Chapter 317. He asked the farmer how he and Baiya's child came to be. The farmer said that more than 6 years ago, a man gave him the child and let him raise it. He gave him 3,000 yuan a month. Then, the man asked him to send the child to a man named Gu Lingqing. He didn't know anything else. He asked the farmer if he could describe the man's appearance. The farmer shook his head and didn't say anything. He didn't know if the farmer didn't know the man's appearance or if he really didn't know. He checked the farmer's background and the people in the farmer's village. There was no problem. The farmer was an honest farmer who lived in a remote mountain village. The others didn't know where the child came from, and they had never seen the man that the farmer mentioned. He wondered if the reason why he returned the child at this time was because he didn't want to see the farmer give up on himself. The child must have been taken away by someone on his side. He went to visit the chief that he had met when he was on a mission, General Kai Qingyun. Unfortunately, General Kai Qingyun had already passed away 3 months ago when he arrived. Everything seemed to be a mystery. He couldn't find the exit, nor could he find any clues. He named the child Gu Yin to continue their relationship, to continue all the unfinished love. He also temporarily left the military and inherited the family business. If he found Baiya, he would bring Baiya to travel around the world and live a peaceful life. Unfortunately, another year passed, and he still couldn't find Baiya. Zhou Hailan was diagnosed with diabetes, and Gu Lingqing took the other child, Gu Ruoxin, to take care of him so that the two children wouldn't be lonely. It was the first day of school, and Gu Ruoxin and Gu Yan were about to enter the first grade. The school let the first graders go to school a day earlier to get to know each other. They also organized a parents' meeting, and all the parents gathered in the hall. Gu Lingqing saw Su Jiran. Su Jiran also saw Gu Lingqing. They looked at each other, and Gu Lingqing turned his face away, ignoring him, and walked to the back. Su Jiran stood in front of him and questioned, "Why did you leave the military? Why didn't you deal with me? My research on the antidote has failed. Baiya is dead for sure." Gu Lingqing looked at Su Jiran coldly. "For people like you, if Xiaoyu is still alive, you should watch me and Xiaoyu live happily together. If Xiaoyu is dead, I can't let her die. You are not qualified to die with her." Su Jiran lowered his eyes. "She's already dead. If she wasn't dead, the people who captured her would have come to threaten you or me, but they didn't. She will always live in my heart. Get out of my way," Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Su Jiran looked up at him. "Xiaoyu is really dead. I poisoned her with my own hands. The research on the antidote failed, and no one can save her. That day on the ship, I wanted to have sex with her. She jumped off the ship into the sea. When I fished her out of the water, she was already dead. In the end, it's me, it's all me, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's her death. Gu Lingqing, look for me to avenge her. Why are you leaving me hanging like this?" Gu Lingqing ignored him. He pushed him away, walked past him, and sat on the last seat. Su Jiran followed behind him and sat down next to him. His eyes were filled with despondency, pessimism, and self-blame. He thought that by threatening his life, he could keep Xiaoyu by his side. He still didn't ask for her love. He just wanted her to stay with him. In the end, Baiya didn't even let him know where she died. Compared to never seeing her again, he should have let go. He already knew that he was wrong. "Gu Lingqing, don't let me go. I'm the culprit who killed Baiya," Su Jiran said in a low voice. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything. He looked at the teacher who walked in. His thoughts drifted away. He remembered that Baiya told him many wishes. All of them were just to persuade him not to seek death. He knew it. He understood it. Now that he and her child had returned to him, he couldn't die. "But, Xiaoyu, where are you?" "Gu Lingqing, did you hear what I said?" Su Jiran frowned and asked, "What did you say?" "I don't want to hear it. I won't kill you, but it doesn't mean that I want to see you. Don't appear in front of me again," Gu Lingqing said coldly. "If you don't take revenge on me, you'll regret it," Su Jiran warned. He was annoyed and left through the back door. The teacher glanced at Su Jiran, twitched the corner of his mouth, and continued, "It's very important for the first graders to form habits. Parents, please supervise your children's study habits and try to finish their homework before doing other things." In the past, when the children were in kindergarten, many families would take their children away after informing the teacher. When the parents went out for a trip, they would tell the teacher and take their children away. But when it came to the primary school, this kind of thing was not allowed. "If you want to leave for half a day, you can tell me. If you want to leave for a day, I have to ask the principal. If you want to leave for 2 or more days, you must have a valid reason or a sick leave certificate from the hospital. In the future, leave your children to us. We will be responsible for you and your children. But parents are the best teachers for their children. I hope that parents will set an example for their children." Involuntarily, Gu Lingqing thought of Baiya again. If Baiya was still alive, she would definitely be a good mother. She would definitely teach her children well. Gu Lingqing's heart was tightly entangled by the poisonous vines. A wave of bitterness flowed out. Xiaoyu was really cruel. She disappeared just like that. She didn't even leave him a single message after the parent-teacher meeting. Gu Lingqing picked up the 2 children and went straight to his office. The assistant knocked on the door. "President Gu, there are 10 tutors coming for an interview today. Call them to the meeting room," Gu Lingqing ordered. "Yes." By the time Gu Lingqing arrived at the meeting 5 minutes later, the 10 interviewees had already arrived. He sat on the boss's chair. It was a habit he had developed over a long period of time in the military. Even in his own space, his back was ramrod straight. I need a tutor who can spend the night with the child. They will be full-time on Saturday and Sunday after school. If anyone feels that the time is not suitable, they can leave early. After he said that, 7 of the 10 interviewees left. Only 3 remained, 1 male and 2 females. Gu Lingqing glanced at their faces. Tell me about your advantages. I would like to know how much the tutors are paid, President Gu. The only male interviewee asked. Tell me about your advantages first. If you don't have any advantages, what's the point of telling you? Gu Lingqing said coldly. Chapter 3:18. Gu Lingqing nodded. He looked quite satisfied and looked at the girl in the middle. The girl in the middle smiled and said, I used to be a language teacher in primary schools. I've taught the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade classes. I'm more familiar with the current education program in primary schools. I'm sure I can teach your son well. Gu Lingqing nodded and looked at the last girl. At first glance, she was very beautiful. Her facial features were exquisite and flawless. Her skin was fair and smooth like a jade belt. In particular, her pair of big eyes were abnormally calm, like the vast ocean. She didn't have the impetuosity of the modern beautiful girls. The only thing that didn't fit the modern aesthetic was her figure. She was slightly plump and rather round. Hello, Mr. Gu. My name is Wen Yin. I'm 28 years old this year. I've been working in an orphanage in Sea City. I think your child doesn't lack education. They have education. Maybe they have more education than the average person. More likely, they are smarter than the average child. I can help them develop good habits. Secondly, I won't let them feel lonely spiritually. Gu Lingqing frowned slightly. Why won't you let them feel lonely spiritually? There's something to do. There's a goal that needs to be achieved. They'll work hard for the goal. They'll use hard work to replace longing and loneliness. This is a process of guidance, Wen Yin explained. What if it's useless even if they work hard? Won't they feel even more lonely and desolate? Gu Lingqing asked. That's because they've set the wrong goal to work hard for. Only by changing their goal appropriately can they become more proactive in working hard. Then, they'll continuously improve their goal and won't feel lonely and desolate. Of course, when they're inflated, they'll also be suppressed appropriately. I hope Mr. Gu will give me a chance. Wen Yin said sincerely. If you want to stay, the others can leave first, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice, scrutinizing Wen Yin. Wen Yin lowered his eyes and was quiet. The others all left. Gu Lingqing asked, What's your expected salary? Wen Yin looked at Gu Lingqing. The first month is 1,000 yuan, the second month is 2,000 yuan, and the third month is 3,000 yuan. In the future, each month is 1,000 yuan more than the previous month. The maximum is 100,000 yuan. Or, we'll discuss it again when it reaches 100,000 yuan. Of course, if Mr. Gu feels that I'm not doing well, you can fire me at any time. Me? You are very confident. When can you start to work? Gu Lingqing asked. Tomorrow is the weekend. Your child should be resting, right? I will come to work on Sunday. Is it convenient for you? Wen Yin asked. Gu Lingqing nodded. It's good for you to get to know each other earlier. Come to my company at 8 a.m. on Sunday. My people will pick you up. You have 4 days off a month. You need to apply for it in advance. Wen Yin nodded. Got it. Is Miss Wu married? Gu Lingqing asked suspiciously. No. At your age, you should have a boyfriend, right? Gu Lingqing furrowed his brows. I did in the past, but we broke up, Wen Yin said simply. Got it. You can go now. Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. He took out Wen Yin's resume. Orphan, no parents, grew up in the Daoren orphanage in City C. After graduating from the normal university, he had been working at the Daoren orphanage. He called his assistant and ordered, Call the Daoren orphanage and ask if there's a teacher called Wen Yin. Ask him why Wen Yin resigned. Yes. Wen Yin walked out of Gu Lingqing's company. She looked back at the towering building and smiled. Gu Lingqing, we finally meet. She dialed Lu Shuang's number as she walked towards the road. How is it? Have you been hired? Lu Shuang asked anxiously. Yes, I've been hired. I'll go to work on Sunday, Wu Yin said with a smile. Congratulations. If you need any help, just let me know, Lu Shuang said as he patted his chest. Wu Yin's eyes were filled with sadness. You've helped me a lot. It's all my fault. What are you talking about? I was originally angry because he used me. But because of you, I feel like I've earned some back. It wasn't in vain that I was tortured by him. Lu Shuang had always been straightforward. Wu Yin felt even more guilty. I'm sorry. If it wasn't for me, you could have gone far away. I'm sorry, Shuang Yao. What far away? Our son is at his place. Let's not talk about this. Tomorrow is Saturday. Since you're out now, let's have dinner together tomorrow, Lu Shuang invited with a smile. Okay, I'll go to your place. I'll go to the nursing home first, Wu Yin said softly. Be careful. Don't get found out, Lu Shuang said worriedly. I know. I'll hang up first. Wu Yin hung up the phone and got into a taxi. She went to the nursing home and looked out of the window. The sunlight was just right. It shone in through the window and fell on her beautiful body. She was still alive. Half an hour later, Wu Yin paid the fare and got out of the car. She walked to the door. She had to register to see the patient. She wrote Bai Bing's name, but not her own. Then she walked in. Bai Bing was still locked in the glass window. She sat on the chair as if she was meditating. She didn't move at all. A nurse passed by. Wu Yin asked the nurse, "What's the situation with the lady inside?" The nurse glanced at Bai Bing and sighed. She was fine last year. She exercised, studied, smiled, and was positive and sunny. But one day, her ex-husband's wife came to visit her. She knew that her ex-husband had died in prison and her daughter had also died. That's when she started to become like this. That's when she became like this. She knew about Xing Bachuan's death. Lu Shuang had told her that he was assassinated. Can I go in and see her? Wu Yin asked. You can, but you have to be careful. She might attack you. The nurse reminded her and opened the door with the key. Wu Yin walked to Bai Bing and sat down opposite her. Bai Bing's eyes trembled slightly. She looked at Wu Yin and took the initiative to speak. Xiaoya told me that as long as I become better and better, he would be enchanted by me the next time we meet. Now that Bachuan is dead, what's the use of me becoming better and better? A dead person still has a soul. Maybe he's looking at you in this room right now. Do you want him to see you become better and better? Or do you want him to see you become more and more haggard? Wu Yin said softly. Does a dead person really have a soul? My husband is dead, and my daughter is also dead. Bai Bing held Wu Yin's hand emotionally. Chapter 319. Bai Bing looked at Wu Yin blankly. Will they really be waiting for me in heaven? Yes. So, you have to make yourself better all the time. They are watching you from heaven, Wu Yin said with a smile. Heaven. Bai Bing looked at the sky, her eyes empty and distant. Wu Yin's heart ached. She stood up and walked out of the door. She said to the nurse, Can I have a look at Bai Bing's diet list? Yes, come with me. The nurse walked in front of her. Wu Yin got Bai Bing's diet list. It was light. She glanced at it and said, It's well prepared. The nurse laughed. Of course. Although the old lady lost her daughter, she has a very rich son-in-law. Mr. Gu would send someone over every month. Other than paying, he would also bring old Madame Bai out for a walk and buy some clothes. It's not bad that old Madame Bai has such a son-in-law. She is really lucky. Wu Yin lowered her eyes and understood. She said to the nurse, Here's the thing. I was asked by my friend to come and see Mrs. Bai. If someone asks you, can you not mention that someone has come to see her? Bai took out a red envelope from her bag and stuffed it into the nurse's hand. I can't take this, but I'm very tight-lipped. I won't say what I shouldn't say. Don't worry. The nurse promised. Thank you. Wu Yin left the sanatorium. She didn't take a taxi. She wandered on the road alone, walking and walking. Company, it was an urbanized city. There had been great changes in the past 2 years. The housing prices had increased by 50% compared to 2 years ago. There were all kinds of luxury cars running on the road. She regretted not buying a house earlier. Now, she could only live in a hotel. After walking for more than an hour, the sky gradually darkened. The streetlights came on. She was hungry. She saw a Hong Kong-style tea restaurant and walked in. There were many people inside. Since when did people in company like to eat these things? She chose a table and sat down. She scanned the QR code and the menu appeared on her phone. She ordered a portion of rice noodle roll, a portion of steamed dumplings, and a portion of soy milk. After ordering, she looked at the news on her phone. She remembered a joke she had seen in the past. It said that two people were comparing who was loneliest. One said that the loneliest thing was to eat alone, while the other said that the loneliest thing was to watch a movie alone. During the meal, they said that if you went to watch a movie and came back from the bathroom, your seat would still be yours. I.e., go to the bathroom and come back. The table is not mine. Wen Yin thought it was quite funny. Unfortunately, she had gone to the movies alone and had also gone to a restaurant to eat alone. Alone? A familiar voice rang out. Wen Yin raised his head in astonishment and looked at Gu Lingqing. He stood up in astonishment and called out respectfully, "Mr. Gu, why are you here? I live nearby. There's no one at home to cook, so I brought my child out for dinner. Since we met, let's eat together. It's good for you to meet them first," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wen Yin did not reject. "All right, I've already ordered. Where would you like to sit? I'll ask the waiter to transfer the menu to you." Table 48, Gu Lingqing said and walked towards table 48. It was not far away, just diagonally across from her. Wen Yin told the waiter and looked at Gu Lingqing's two children. Gu Yin, 7 years old this year. He's the older brother. The one beside him is Gu Ruoxin, also 7 years old. He's the younger brother, Gu Lingqing introduced to Wen Yin. Wen Yin looked at Gu Yin with a burning gaze. The corners of his mouth were raised and his eyes were rippling, sparkling under the lights. Mr. Gu's two sons are both outstanding and good-looking. I'm good-looking because I look like my mother. My mother is beautiful, Gu Ruoxin said. Wen Yin looked at Gu Ruoxin. He was indeed looking more and more like Zhou Hailon. Gu Yin tilted his head and looked at Wen Yin. "Auntie, are you going to be our new mother in the future?" Wen Yin blushed slightly and smiled. "I'm not going to be your new mother. I'll just take care of you, wash your clothes, cook for you, and send you to school. If you don't understand anything in the textbooks, you can ask me." "Nanny," Gu Ruoxin said and pursed his lips. "My mother can do all these. I don't want you to do it. If I do all these things, your mother will have more time to accompany you, right?" Wen Yin said gently. Gu Ruoxin did not say anything and lowered his head. Gu Yin looked at Gu Ruoxin and then at Wen Yin. He saw Wen Yin looking at him with a smile. "Welcome to my house, Annie. Do you know how to draw?" "I like to draw. Little Yin is very good at drawing. Can you teach me?" Wen Yin said with a smile. "Who are you to call him Little Yin? You should call him Young Master and call me Second Young Master. Besides, you don't even know how to draw. How can you ask us if we don't understand?" "That's hilarious," Gu Ruoxin said. "Everyone has their own specialties. Although I'm older than you, there are many things that I'm not as good as you. I'll learn from you humbly. As for how I should address you," Wen Yin looked at Gu Yin. "Little Yin, do you want me to call you Young Master or Little Yin?" "Little Yin. Little Yin sounds more intimate. Young Master sounds distant," Gu Yin said. "What do you mean distant?" "My father hired them to serve us. They have their own identities, ranks, and seniority," Gu Ruoxin said arrogantly. Wen Yin was not angry. He said to Gu Ruoxin, "You're just a little judge who maintains order. Let me ask you, who do you think is more respectable, the boss or the employee?" "Of course it's the boss," Gu Ruoxin said without thinking. "Is the teacher more respectable or the student more respectable?" Wen Yin asked again. "Of course it's the teacher." Gu Ruoxin was very sure. "What if the employee hired by the boss is the boss's teacher?" Gu Ruoxin paused. He thought for a while and said, "Boss, the one who pays is more respectable. Then, what if the boss doesn't have the technical support of the teacher? Will the company close down?" Gu Ruoxin did not say anything. He was a little annoyed. "What nonsense are you talking about? I'm talking about seniority. Why are you talking about it?" Gu Lingqing looked at Wen Yin and did not say anything. He wanted to see how Wen Yin would handle it. Wen Yin smiled good-naturedly. "The dishes are here. Let's eat first. I'll go wash my hands." Wen Yin stood up and walked to the washroom. When she was washing her hands, Gu Lingqing appeared beside her. I want to know how Mr. Wu will handle it. Gu Lingqing asked. Because the child is yours, I didn't say it in front of the child. I want to have a deeper conversation with you, Mr. Gu. Can you give me half an hour on Sunday? Wu Nian asked with a smile. Chapter 320. Wu Nian smiled. Of course, that's not a problem. Gu Lingqing furrowed his brows slightly. You're very confident? I can't think of anything else. Even if I beg you, will you let me stay? Also, I'm only offering a salary of 1,000 for the first month, 2,000 for the second month, and 3,000 for the third month. If you want to fire me, I won't feel that it's a pity. When I'm earning 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 per month, you will fire me. If you fire me, don't even think about the future. Wu Nian said word by word. Gu Lingqing was a little dazed. He said that he found her voice very familiar. It was so familiar that even after she left, he was still thinking about what she said. So much so that when he saw her here, he would take the initiative to greet her. Now that he thought about it, her voice was very similar to Bai Ye's. Can you sing? Gu Lingqing suddenly asked. Wu Nian was stunned. He changed the topic so quickly that she couldn't react for a moment. A little. Why? Let's go to KTV tonight. You can get to know the children. Gu Lingqing didn't ask if she was free. After saying that, he walked out directly. He was still as domineering and fierce as he used to be. She also wanted to interact with the children, so she didn't reject him and follow behind him. The two children sat together. Gu Lingqing sat first, and Wu Nian sat next to him. Auntie Annie, what's your name? Gu Yan asked with his head tilted. His eyes were curved, and he seemed to be very interested in Wu Nian. Wu Nian, my name is Tian Wu. It means to think about, Wu Nian explained gently. Wu Nian, this name sounds a little sad, or maybe it's a feeling of heartache. My name is very good. Gu Yan, it means continuation. My mother is missing, and my father hopes to find my mother, so he gave me this name, Gu Yan said with a smile. Wu Nian's fingers trembled slightly. She held it with both hands and looked at Gu Lingqing. He was also looking at her. She felt guilty and blushed. Is Mr. Gu's wife missing? Gu Lingqing was sad. I didn't protect her well. She must be blaming me. That's why she's still not willing to come out after 2 years. Wu Nian chuckled. Gu Lingqing was surprised and looked at Wu Nian. What are you laughing at? In my opinion, Mr. Gu should be a wise, mature, and steady person. If a woman blames you because you didn't protect her well, I don't think Mr. Gu would love such a girl. If Mr. Gu insists that the girl you like is such a person, then you are not worthy of her love. Since you are not worthy of her love, why would she come back to you? Wu Nian analyzed. Gu Lingqing squinted his eyes and stared at Wu Nian. He didn't say a word and looked gloomy, as if a storm was coming. I think that what Xiao Nian said makes sense, Gu Yan said calmly. Wu Nian looked at Gu Yan in surprise. What did you call her? Gu Lingqing questioned Gu Yan. Gu Yan wasn't afraid. He smiled like a crescent moon. I think calling Xiao Nian is more intimate than calling her Andy. She's your senior. She's older than you by 20 years. Calling her Xiao Nian isn't intimate. It's rude. Call her Annie next time, Gu Lingqing ordered. Oh, I know, Dad. Hello, Auntie, Gu Yan said sweetly. This voice went straight to Wu Nian's heart. It was soft, and there was an inexplicable bitterness in his eyes. Hello, Xiaoyan. Let's eat, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. His mood was even lower. He knew that Bai Yu wouldn't blame him. But if she didn't blame him, why hadn't she heard from him for so long? Was she already? He didn't dare to think about it. He would rather convince himself that Bai Yu blamed him for not protecting her. His heart was in pain. He lost his appetite and put down his chopsticks. I'm sorry. I need to go out for a while. Gu Lingqing left the table and walked out. It's all your fault. Why did you mention your mother? She's a jinx. Every time your mother is mentioned, Dad will be unhappy. Gu Ruoxin blamed Gu Yan. It's not that Dad is unhappy. He just misses my mother. Even if I didn't mention it, he would still miss her, Gu Yan retorted. What's the big deal about missing your mother? Your mother is already dead. My mother is still alive. Dad should have married my mother. I don't want to eat with you anymore. Gu Ruoxin glared at Wu Yin and got down from his seat. Wu Yin grabbed hold of Gu Ruoxin. You're still young. Don't run around. What if you run out and get caught by the bad guys? Gu Ruoxin pushed Wu Yin away forcefully. You're the bad guy. I don't like you. Don't come to my house. Wu Yin didn't expect a little boy to be so strong. He pushed her to the corner of the table. She couldn't straighten her back and had to squat down. Gu Ruoxin ran away. Auntie, are you okay? Gu Yin ran to Wu Yin and asked with concern. Wu Yin shook her head. It's okay. Go outside and find your father. Get your brother back. Okay. Gu Yin ran out anxiously. Wu Yin squatted down to relieve herself. Her forehead was covered in cold sweat. Are you okay? Gu Lingqing ran over and helped her up. Wu Yin smelled the tobacco on him. He must have gone outside to smoke. Gu Lingqing only smoked when he was upset. Her eyes turned red. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Young master ran out just now. Hurry up and get him back. It's too dangerous for a child to run around outside. Gu Lingqing looked at her face. He carried her and walked outside. Wu Yin held his arm in surprise. What are you doing? You don't look well. I'll send you to the hospital. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Little Yin, follow me. I'm fine. I just bumped into the corner of the table. I'll be fine in a while. Your child is still outside, Wu Yin said worriedly. He runs away from home every 2 or 3 days to go to his mother's place. From here to his mother's place, he can find the way with his eyes closed. I'll ask someone to bring him back later. You don't have to worry, Gu Lingqing said with certainty. Wu Yin understood. This child is trying to match you with his mother, right? I only have my wife in my heart, Gu Lingqing said with certainty. He coldly opened the car door and let Wu Yin in. Gu Yin climbed into the car and sat next to Wu Yin. Gu Lingqing drove. Andy, don't worry. It's very far from here to the hospital. Medical science is very advanced now. Gu Yin comforted her and raised a bright smile. Wu Yin rubbed Gu Yan's little head. Thank you. After hearing you say that, I don't feel that much pain anymore. After Wu Yin said that, he looked at Gu Lingqing and said, Mr. Gu could drop me off at the entrance of the hospital. I'll go on myself. You and little Yin haven't eaten anything yet. Your child is growing. It's not good for him to be hungry. Chapter 321. When I was heartbroken in a city, I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave the people I knew and the things that hurt me. I even closed Weibo, WeChat, and changed my phone number. By chance, I met a very good stranger who happened to be from City A, so I came to City. Wu Yin lowered his eyes and explained sadly. Where do you live now? I saw that the address on your resume is the address of a hotel, Gu Lingqing asked. So, it's very tempting for me that you can provide food and accommodation there, Wu Yin said jokingly. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything and continued driving. It doesn't hurt anymore. I don't need to go to the hospital. It's just a bump. It's not a big problem. Pull over and I can go back by myself, Wu Yin said while looking out of the window. Since it doesn't hurt anymore, can you cook for me? I often eat in restaurants and I'm tired of it, Gu Yin said coquettishly. Wu Yin's heart softened. He glanced at Gu Lingqing and remained silent. Sure. What do you want to eat? I'll cook for you. Wu Yin rubbed Gu Yan's head and said, I want to eat cola chicken wings, prawns, and... Gu Yin licked his lips, wonton, big wonton. Wu Yin smiled and asked Gu Lingqing, do you have ingredients in the fridge? No, there's nothing but liquor, Gu Yin complained. Stop in front. There's a vegetable market there. I'll buy some ingredients. It'll take about 10 minutes, Wu Yin said. Miss Wu, you're not from City A, but you're quite familiar with it, Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. I like to wander around and look around, so I remember there's a vegetable market here. Please pull over and wait for me, Wu Yin said softly. Gu Lingqing stopped the car and handed the wallet to Wu Yin. Wu Yin was stunned. Take my wallet and return it to me when you're done, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Aren't you afraid that I'll take too much of your money? Wu Yin was surprised. You have a monthly salary of 100,000 yuan. You won't care about a few thousand yuan. Wu Yin was amused by Gu Lingqing. A monthly salary of 100,000? This was not a small temptation. Even if she was really a thief, she would not steal his money. She took his wallet and got out of the car. Gu Lingqing opened the window and lit a cigarette. He stared at Wu Yu's back. The light of the cigarette was flickering just like the ripples in his eyes. 10 minutes later, Wu Yin came over with groceries. He opened the back door and sat next to Gu Yin. "Xiao Yin, what vegetables did you buy?" Gu Yin asked with a smile. "What are you shouting for?" Gu Lingqing reminded. Gu Yin stuck out his tongue and immediately corrected himself. "Auntie Xiao Yin." Wu Yin smiled dotingly. "I bought cola, chicken wings, prawns, pork, preserved vegetables, eggs, tomatoes, salted duck eggs, vegetables, shiitake mushrooms, carrots, cabbage, rice, and seasonings." "You bought so much. How can we finish it with just the three of us?" Guyan was surprised and happy, but he felt it was a waste. "We only have cola chicken wings, prawns, braised pork with preserved vegetables, and eggs with tomatoes for dinner. As for the rest, I'll make wontons. When it's done, I'll freeze it in the fridge. When you want to eat it, I'll boil it in boiling water. You can have it for breakfast tomorrow," Wu Yin explained. Gu Lingqing looked at Wu Yin. "You know how to make braised pork with preserved vegetables?" "Yes, we can eat it tomorrow if we can't finish it," Wu Yin said with a smile. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything else. He sped up and drove back to the condominium. When they got out of the elevator, Wu Yin saw Zhou Hailan standing at the door with his arm around Gu Ruoxin's shoulder. Zhou Hailan glanced at Wu Yin and smiled at Gu Lingqing. "Xiao Xian is back again. I didn't want you to worry, so I brought her here. Is she the nanny that Xiao Xian was talking about?" "She's the home tutor I hired. Xiao Xian and Yin are going to school soon, so she's in charge of taking care of them." Xiao Xian apologized to Ms. Wu. "You shouldn't have pushed her," Gu Lingqing said sternly. "I didn't push her. She pulled me and didn't let me go," Xiao Xian said arrogantly. "I didn't let you go because I was worried that something would happen to you. It's wrong of you to push her. Also, it's wrong of you to run out without my permission and make my parents worry." "Apologize," Gu Lingqing said in a commanding tone. "Xiao Xian, don't make your dad angry. Apologize now. Don't come back again. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me," Zhou Hailan said immediately. Gu Ruoxin pursed her lips and looked at Zhou Hailan with tears in her eyes. "Mom, I want to go back with you. Dad won't care about me anymore after he finds Gu Yin. I want to go with you." "Don't be silly. How can Dad not love you? I'll be angry if you say that again. I won't allow you to say that. Do you hear me?" Zhou Hailan said angrily. Gu Ruoxin lowered her head and didn't say anything. "Mr. Gu, I'll go in and cook," Wu Yin changed the topic. Gu Lingqing nodded and opened the door. Wu Yin walked in. His apartment wasn't very big. It had 3 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, 2 bathrooms, and a kitchen. However, it was very tidy. The tiles on the walls could even reflect people's shadows. The overall layout was very similar to the feeling he gave people. It was masculine, righteous, and meticulous. "Where's the kitchen?" Wu Yin asked. "I'll bring you there. Since he didn't cook dinner, I'll help you." Zhou Hailan volunteered to help. Gu Lingqing held her arm. "You have diabetes. You should rest more. You can eat here if you haven't eaten dinner. I'll ask someone to send you back after you finish." "It's okay. I'll help. I'll stop if I'm tired. I know what I'm doing." Zhou Hailan smiled and walked towards the kitchen. "Miss Wu, what can I do?" Zhou Hailan asked politely. "Can you help me wash the vegetables?" Wu Yin took out all the vegetables. "There's pickled vegetables. I remember that Ling Qing loves to eat steamed pork with pickled vegetables the most. Let me cook this steamed pork with pickled vegetables." Zhou Hailan took the pork and washed it in the water. Wu Yin didn't say anything. He washed the chicken wings and made a cut in the center of the wings. Then, he poured oil into the pan and fried the ginger and spring onions until they were golden brown. He added soy sauce and glanced at Zhou Hailan. Instead of adding sugar, he added the seasoning. Wu Yin added the seasoning instead of sugar. She didn't add sugar. Instead, she added wine, a little white wine, and half a bottle of Coke. While waiting for the chicken wings, she cleaned the prawns and untied the back of the prawns. When the prawns were all done, the chicken wings were also ready. Bai took out the chicken wings and saw that Zhou Hailon had already taken out the cubes of pork cubes. He cut them into pieces and prepared to steam them in the rice pot. Chapter 3:22. Wu Yin smiled and narrowed her eyes. She looked like she was listening to the conversation. Sure. Thank you, madam. What do you like to eat? As she spoke, her phone rang. I'm sorry. Wu Yin walked to the side and answered the call. Xiao Yin, let me tell you a piece of good news. I have a few days off from tomorrow onwards. Shen Yin is going overseas for an interview. Ha ha. Let's go on a trip together, Lu Shuang said excitedly. Have you forgotten? I found a full-time job. However, I have 4 days off per month. I'll see if it's okay next time. However, it's not good for me to be a minor when I've just started working, Wu Yin said apologetically. All right, give me all your time tomorrow. We'll go fishing together. I know a fun place. Lu Shuang was still in a good mood. Sure. See you tomorrow, Wu Yin said. She hung up and turned on the voice recorder. She put the phone in her pocket and said to Zhou Hailon, I'm sorry. It's a call from a friend. What do you like to eat? Oh, it's okay. Xiao Xian likes to eat durian and garlic crayfish. However, she doesn't like spicy food. She can't stand spicy food. Xiaoyan's adoptive parents are from H City. People there like spicy food. So, Xiaoyan likes to eat spicy food, Zhou Hailon said warmly. I'll remember. Thank you, madam, Wu Yin said with a smile. Thank you, madam, Wu Yin said with a smile. Wu Yin used butter to fry the prawns. The prawns turned red. Then, she added in the egg yolk, MSG, and salt. Wu Yin used butter to fry the shrimps. The shrimps turned red. Then he beat in the egg yolk, MSG, and salt. Finally, he lifted the pan. Miss Wu is really good at cooking, Zhou Hailon praised. When I was in the orphanage, I was the one who cooked for the children. So it's not bad. Wu Yin scooped out the prawns and made the last dish, tomato and egg. Auntie Yin, your cooking smells so good. I'm hungry. Gu Yin ran in and craned his neck to look at the stove. Wu Yin gave Gu Yin a bowl and a pair of chopsticks. You can eat the cola chicken wings and prawns first. Thank you, Auntie Xiao Yin. Auntie Xiao Yin is the best auntie I've ever met, Gu Yin praised and added, like a doryman. Yin, Gu Xiao Yin said. Wu Xiao Yin, and said. Wu is. She is. Xiao Wu Yin. Zhou Hailon looked at Gu Yan's chicken wings with a pale face. Then, she said to Wu Yin, my child is not as good as Yin. I'm sorry to trouble you. Every child has their own personality. If they all have the same personality, there's no point in living. Wu Yin cooked the eggs and tomatoes. Please take good care of Xiao Xian, Zhou Hailon said gently. Okay, Wu Yin said. She soaked the shiitake mushrooms in hot water and washed and drained the vegetables while stir-frying the tomatoes. When the eggs and tomatoes were ready, Wu Yin took a look at the pot. I'll be ready in about 5 minutes. You can bring the other dishes up first. Miss Wu, you're really good at taking care of children. You know what children like, Zhou Hailon praised. Huh. Wu Yin smiled gently and politely and went out with the dishes. Dinner will be ready in 5 minutes. Wash your hands first. And Xiao Yin, the chicken wings you made are so delicious. And the prawns are even better than those in restaurants. I'm so happy, Gu Yin said happily. It's not as good as you said. Gu Ruoxin took a bite of the chicken wing and spat out. It's so disgusting. I've never eaten anything so disgusting. Don't eat it if it's disgusting. Eat it all, Gu Yin said and picked up another chicken wing. Gu Ruoxin was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Wu Yin went back to the kitchen and didn't notice Zhou Hailon suddenly coming out. Zhou Hailon knocked into Wu Yin with a braised pork with preserved vegetables in her hands. The freshly cooked braised pork with preserved vegetables was splashed on Zhou Hailon. She screamed and dropped the bowl on the floor. Mom, Gu Ruoxin ran over anxiously and pushed Wu Yin away. She asked worriedly, Mom, are you okay? Zhou Hailon's hands were trembling. She smiled and said, I'm fine. I knocked into Miss Wu. Are you okay, Miss Wu? Wu Yin shook her head. I'm fine. What a pity. This is a bowl of braised pork with preserved vegetables, Zhou Hailon said sadly. Ma, please go eat first. There's no sugar in the tomato, eggs, and prawns, so they're edible. I'll take care of the rest, Wu Yin said kindly. Gu Ruoxin glared at Wu Yin and said to Zhou Hailon, Mom, you're scalded. There should be scalding medicine at home. Apply it first. You're not in good health. We can't make it worse. Zhou Hailon looked at Gu Lingqing and asked carefully, Can I? Gu Lingqing got up and went to her room to take out the first aid kit. She passed the scalding medicine to Zhou Hailon. Dad, Mom is injured. I can't do it myself. You can apply the medicine for Mom. Gu Ruoxin said to Gu Lingqing. It's okay. I can do it myself. Zhou Hailon took the scalding medicine from Gu Lingqing's hand. She rolled up her white sleeves. Her skin was scalded red. She applied the medicine on herself and frowned. There were tears in her eyes. Then, she changed her other hand. The other arm was also scalded red. Mom, both of your hands are scalded. How are you going to shower at night? What if you have a fever? Don't leave today. I'll take care of you. Gu Ruoxin held Zhou Hailon's hand and blew on it gently. Zhou Hailon's tears flowed down. Mom, it's okay. You must be good here. Don't make your dad and Annie angry. Do you understand? How could it not matter? If you had a fever and fainted alone, no one would know. If Dad doesn't let you stay here, I'll go back with you. At least I can take care of you, Gu Ruoxin said with tears in her eyes. Don't talk nonsense. Be good and listen to Mom. Zhou Hailon's tears flowed even more fiercely. Gu Ruoxin hugged Gu Lingqing's waist and begged, Dad, can you let me stay? As long as you let me stay, I'll be good. I'll do anything. Gu Lingqing looked at Zhou Hailon, who was crying. You can stay here tonight. I'll find a nanny to take care of you tomorrow. Zhou Hailon looked at Gu Lingqing with tears in her eyes. Is it really okay? Let's eat. Gu Lingqing sat at the dining table. Wu Yin had already cleaned the floor. He used his chopsticks to pick up 3 to 4 pieces of braised pork with preserved vegetables that did not fall on the floor. He put them into small bowls and carried them to the dining table. Let's sit down and eat together, Gu Lingqing said to Wu Yin. Wu Yin smiled and shook his head. He turned around and walked to the kitchen. Chapter 323. Wu Yin returned to the kitchen and washed the carrots and cabbage. She minced all the vegetables and put some minced meat into the minced meat. Gu Yin ran to the kitchen and asked, Auntie Xiaoyan, why don't you have dinner with us? You haven't eaten anything yet. Are you still hungry? Wu Yin smiled and squatted down opposite Gu Yin. Auntie Xiaoyan, aren't you hungry? I'll cook some wontons later. You won't be hungry. Don't worry, little warm boy. Then I want to eat some wontons. Can you give me one of each? Gu Yin gestured with his index finger. Okay, but you have to go to bed before 9 p.m. Wu Yin took out her phone from her pocket and looked at the time. It was almost 8 p.m. She realized that her phone was still recording and turned it off. Auntie Xiaoyan, do you know how to tell stories? I want to hear Auntie Xiaoyan tell me stories. Gu Yin looked at Wu Yin and said eagerly, She can. Think about what you want Auntie Xiaoyan to tell you later. Go take a shower first. Wu Yin stood up. Gu Yin didn't leave. He played with his fingers and lowered his head, looking like he wanted to say something. Wu Yin noticed something was wrong and squatted in front of Gu Yin again. What's wrong? Gu Yin looked at Wu Yin with reddened eyes and pursed his lips. His eyes became redder as if they were covered by a thin layer of mist. Xiaoyan doesn't want to go out. Dad is with Annie Zhou. Auntie Zhou is Gu Ruoxin's biological mother. The 3 of them are family. Xiaoyan is all alone. Seeing the 3 of them together, Xiaoyan will feel like he's the extra one. It'll be very lonely. Wu Yin's heart tightened. She didn't expect Xiaoyan, who looked optimistic and cheerful, to have such thoughts. She held Gu Yan's hand and said softly, Xiaoyan will not be the extra one. Anna wants to ask you, who is the person your dad loves the most? Do you know? Xiaoyan shook his head and lowered his head. It should be Yan's mother. If it was Annie Zhou, your father would have married her a long time ago, right? Wu Yin said patiently. Xiao Yan nodded, not really understanding, and wiped his tears. You are the child of the person your father loves the most. Of course he loves you more. Even if the three of them are together, you're not the extra one. You're your father's child, right? Wu Yan's thumb stroked the corner of Gu Yan's eye. Gu Yan smiled through his tears. After hearing Xiao Yan's words, my mood suddenly became better. Xiao Yan, Dad doesn't allow me to be impolite. In front of Dad, I can only call you Annie Xiao Yan. When it's just the two of us, can I call you Xiao Yan? Sure. How about I teach you how to make wontons? If we go together, we'll be faster, Wu Yan invited. Okay. Gu Yan immediately washed his hands. Wu Yan patiently taught him how to make wontons. She found that Gu Yan learned very quickly. He only taught once, and the wontons he made were very beautiful. Xiao Yan is so smart. Wu Yan praised him sincerely. Dad and Mom are smart, so Xiao Yan is smart. Wu Yan smiled knowingly. With Gu Yan's help, the wontons were made very quickly. Wu Yan made 2 wontons with different flavors. Xiao Yan, it's time to take a shower. Gu Lingqing came over and shouted. There's one more thing. I want to help Annie Xiao Yan wrap it before I go wash it, Gu Yan said in a childish voice. Wu Yan saw him wrapping the wontons in a good manner and said with a smile, Xiao Yan, go take a shower first. When you're done, the wontons will be cooked and ready. Well, all right then. Gu Yan washed his hands and left the kitchen. Wu Yan continued to wrap the rest of the wontons. Thank you for your hard work today. You made a good dinner. Gu Lingqing noticed the stain on her waist and guessed that she was also scalded. He turned around and went out. After a while, he came back with the ointment and handed it to Wu Yan. You can apply it too. Oh, thank you, Mr. Gu. Wu Yan took the ointment and put it aside. He continued to wrap the wontons. You haven't had dinner yet, right? Gu Lingqing asked. It's okay. I can eat some wontons later. I'm not hungry anyway. I'll freeze the rest in the fridge. I'll write the type on the food bag. You can cook it for the children tomorrow morning. It won't go bad in the freezer. Besides, young Master Xiao Xin likes to eat durian and garlic crayfish. Lobster? Wu Yan asked cautiously. No, Xiao Xin hates food with strong flavors, such as garlic and durian. Besides, he's allergic to crayfish, Gu Lingqing explained. Wu Yan raised her eyebrows and understood. Then Xiao Yan likes spicy food. The couple who adopted Xiao Yan are from City H. They do like spicy food. Xiao Yan prefers spicy food, but his stomach isn't good, so I don't let him eat spicy food. His stomach isn't good? Wu Yan was worried. He used to eat spicy food too much, so his stomach isn't good, so I forbid him from eating spicy food. I'll tell you the details when you come on Sunday. Gu Lingqing looked at the pot. The water seems to be boiling. Oh. Wu Yan came back to her senses. She opened the pot, and steam came out. The pot was bubbling, and the white and fat dumplings floated to the surface. She put some cold water in the pot, turned the heat to low, and covered the pot again. Gu Lingqing didn't leave the kitchen. He looked at her deeply. Wu Yan noticed Gu Lingqing's gaze and looked at him in surprise. Is there anything else, Mr. Gu? Zhou Hailon told you that Xiao Xin likes to eat durian and garlic crayfish? That Xiao Yan likes spicy food? Gu Lingqing narrowed his eyes and asked straightforwardly. Wu Yan smiled. We'll see each other frequently. It's fine as long as you know in your heart. It'll be embarrassing when we meet in the future. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. I want to eat wontons too. Give me a bowl too. I don't eat a lot, just 10 of them. Mr. Gu, do you want to ask Mrs. Zhou and young Master Xiao Xin if they want to eat? They won't be happy if we don't prepare it for them, Wu Yan asked politely. Gu Lingqing nodded and walked out. Xiao Yan ran towards the kitchen with a red face. Hello, Dad. Xiao Yan greeted him and walked past him. Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Yan's back view helplessly and sadly. Xiao Yan grew up with his foster parents. He only came back last year. After he came back, he wasn't used to it. He wasn't very close to him. He was respectful but distant. Sometimes, he would deliberately avoid him. He was afraid that he would be too lonely. Zhou Hailon happened to be in poor health, so he brought Xiao Xin with him. After all, Xiao Xin and Xiao Yan were about the same age. He thought that they would have a common topic. However, Gu Ruoxin missed him and Zhou Hailon too much. Chapter 3:24. Come here, Xiao Yin, Gu Lingqing shouted. Gu Yin stopped and smiled awkwardly. His hands were clenched because of nervousness. Dad, what's wrong? Xiao Xian's mother is staying here today. You can sleep with Dad, Gu Lingqing said softly. Oh, then I'll go eat the wontons first, Gu Yin said and ran to the kitchen without waiting for Gu Lingqing's reply. Gu Lingqing sighed helplessly. Kitchen Wu Yin scooped up the wontons for Gu Yin and put 20 more into the bowl. Gu Yin looked at the wontons with sparkling eyes. He licked his lips and asked, Xiao Yin, can I eat them now? Yes, but be careful. It's hot. Do you want sugar and vinegar? Wu Yin asked softly. Yes, yes. Wu Yin gave Gu Yin the vinegar. Gu Yin took a big bite with satisfaction. His cheeks were puffed up. Delicious, so delicious. This is the best wonton I've ever eaten. I can only eat wontons for hundreds of years. Wu Yin was amused by Gu Yin. This kid was very cute. She smiled and felt a warm liquid on her face. She felt tears on her face, so she turned around. Xiao Yin, are you crying? Why? Gu Yan's eyes were sharp. Did my dad bully you? No, I accidentally burned my waist, and it hurts a little. Wu Yin found an excuse. I'll help you apply the ointment. Gu Yin put down the bowl and picked up the ointment on the stove worriedly. He lifted Wu Yin's clothes and said, Xiao Yin, your waist is purple. It's okay. It'll be fine in a few days, Wu Yin comforted. Gu Lingqing stood at the door and saw the injury on Wu Yin's waist. He frowned and said in a deep voice, It seems that the injury is serious. You need to go to the hospital. No, really, it's fine. It's just a scratch. I'm not that precious, Wu Yin refused. Then boil 2 eggs and put them on a hot compress. You'll get better faster, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice and walked in. Wu Yin nodded respectfully. Okay, I'll use it when I get back. They won't eat. You just have to eat mine and yours, Gu Lingqing ordered. He looked at Gu Yin and picked up Gu Yan's bowl. Come out and eat. Be careful not to burn yourself. Oh, Gu Yin followed Gu Lingqing out. Gu Lingqing put the bowl on the table. Gu Yin sat at the dining table and ate quietly. Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Yin, who was in a daze. His eyes were heavy, like a shadow floating in the air. If Bai were here, he would definitely know how to get along with children better than he did. He was cold, indifferent, and of few words. He did not know how to make children happy, nor did he know how to get closer to them. Wu Yin put the sour and vinegar plate in front of Gu Yin. Gu Lingqing looked at Wu Yin. The wontons are almost ready. How many do you want, Mr. Gu? Wu Yin asked respectfully. 10. You can sit at the dining table and eat too, Gu Lingqing said. Wu Yin turned around and went to the kitchen. She divided the 20 wontons into 2 bowls and brought them up. One bowl was placed in front of Gu Lingqing, and the other bowl was placed on the seat facing the north. She sat down and ate the wontons. Gu Yin looked at Gu Lingqing, then at Wu Yin. The 3 of them looked like a family now. His father, mother, and him were eating dinner together. Gu Yin was happy. He pursed his lips and smiled. He was afraid that others would find out what he was thinking, so he lowered his head. Gu Ruoxin came out of the room and saw the 3 of them sitting together eating wontons. His expression was very bad. He scolded, Who allowed you to sit at the dining table? You are just a servant hired by my father. What right do you have? Xiao Xian, don't be rude. Annie Wu is the home tutor I hired. She will take care of you. She is not a servant, Gu Lingqing said sternly. I have my mother. I don't need other women to take care of me. If my father wants this woman to be my home tutor, then I won't go to school from tomorrow onwards. I don't need her to teach me either. I will do nothing but lie in bed, Gu Ruoxin said arrogantly. Are you threatening me? Gu Lingqing was furious. He looked at Gu Ruoxin sharply, like a storm was coming. Xiao Xian didn't mean that. Zhou Hailon rushed out of the room and hugged Xiao Xian. He begged Gu Lingqing, he is still young. It's inevitable that he will be stubborn. Let me talk to him. Zhou Hailon brought Gu Ruoxin away. Gu Lingqing frowned and slammed his chopsticks on the table. He couldn't eat anymore and walked towards Gu Ruoxin's room. Gu Yin could feel his father's anger. He was trembling in fear. Wen Yin glanced at Gu Yin and ran towards Gu Lingqing. Mr. Gu, I have something to tell you. Gu Lingqing stopped in front of Gu Ruoxin's room. He clenched his fists and suppressed his anger. He looked at Wen Yin. Gu Ruoxin is Mr. Gu's child. Mr. Gu should know his temper. If you hit him, he will only think that his mother is better and become more rebellious. The child's nature was not bad. When he saw his mother hurt, he would cry. For his mother, he was willing to hurt himself. He had a strong sense of purpose and strategy. He had plans, guidelines, and ideas. He was a very smart child. The way to teach this child is to give him the rewards he wants and guide him. He said that he won't go to school and doesn't listen to me. Don't worry. You just need to tell him that I will evaluate them. If his evaluation is good after 1 month, I will allow his mother to come over and stay for 2 days. He will definitely not cause trouble. I will talk to you on Sunday. Wen Yin said. Gu Lingqing listened to her voice and gradually calmed down. He felt that it made sense. Miss Wu is very good at treating children. Wen Yin saw that his anger had disappeared. She raised the corner of her mouth and said, there were many naughty children in the orphanage. Some of them had problems with their personalities. In the end, they were all fine. There are no bad children, only bad education methods. Well, let's have dinner. I will send you back after dinner, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice and returned to the dining table. 3 minutes later, Zhou Hailon came out with Gu Ruoxin and stood next to Gu Lingqing. Tell your father, Zhou Hailon said to Gu Ruoxin. I'm sorry, Gu Ruoxin said unwillingly. Tell him properly. Zhou Hailon frowned and ordered. Gu Ruoxin clenched his fists and lowered his head. He said again, I'm sorry. Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Ruoxin. It's getting late. Go to bed with your mother. I will send Miss Wu back. Gu Yin immediately raised his hand. Me too. Yin, I will sleep with you. It's getting late, Zhou Hailon said softly to Gu Yin. Wen Yin recalled what Zhou Hailon said. Gu Yin liked spicy food, and Gu Ruoxin liked durian and crayfish. She felt a chill down her spine. She was worried about leaving Gu Yin with Zhou Hailon. You're not in good health, and you were scalded. You need someone to take care of you. How can you take care of others? I will take Yin with me. You guys have a good rest. Gu Lingqing refused. Chapter 325. In the car. The light from a street lamp shone through the window and fell on the side of Gu Lingqing's face, hiding the other half of his face in the darkness. Gu Yin leaned on Wen Yin. Aunt Xiao Yin, didn't you say you were going to tell me a story? A long time ago, there was a lion cub. When he was born, his father was killed by a hunter and his mother was taken away by the hunter. He and his sister were adopted by an elephant mother. When he was young, he was often bullied by tigers, hungry wolves, and wild dogs. Every time he was bullied, he told himself that he had to become stronger so that he wouldn't be bullied by others. He had to run faster than any animal, and his claws were sharper than any animal. He had to practice avoiding the traps of the hunters. Finally, one day, he became the king of the forest. He married a beautiful wife and had 2 children. He had his own family and lived happily ever after, Wen Yin said softly. Gu Yin fell asleep. Gu Yin fell asleep. Wen Yin held him in her arms and gazed at him tenderly. She hoped that even if he didn't have a mother, even if he encountered setbacks were not used to defeat him, but to make him stronger. Gu Lingqing looked at Wen Yin in the rearview mirror. She looked at him again and said in a low voice, Is Xiao Yin asleep? Yes. When you drive back, put him in the child's safety chair and drive slowly. Be careful on the road, Wen Yin said worriedly. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. The 2 little Wen Yin were reflected in his dark eyes. Wen Yin was a little flustered. She looked down and hugged Gu Yin a little tighter. Gu Lingqing looked away and said in a low voice, I often go on business trips. Sometimes I go on business trips for more than half a month. In the past, they were still young and didn't need to go to school, so I brought them with me. Now, I can't bring them with me anymore. I think you know what kind of person Zhou Hailon is. Remember, don't let Xiao Yin be alone with her. Wu Yin narrowed his eyes and looked at Gu Lingqing in confusion. Mr. Gu, aren't you going to remarry? It seems that it has nothing to do with you whether I remarry or not, Gu Lingqing said coldly. Wu Yin lowered his head. Sorry, I misspoke. Gu Lingqing clenched the steering wheel and said in a deeper voice, I believe that Yan's mother is not dead. Wu Yin's eyelashes fluttered. She didn't speak. She looked out the window. Tears flowed out uncontrollably. Fortunately, she deliberately hid in the darkness. No one would find out that she was crying. Where do you live? Gu Lingqing suddenly asked. Wu Yin came back to his senses and cleared his throat, trying to make his voice sound normal. Oasis Hotel. You can stop at the entrance. Gu Lingqing frowned and said in a reproachful tone, How can you cook eggs in a hotel? Ha ha. Wu Yin laughed dryly. The injury on my waist is not a big deal. It's not a big deal. When I was in the orphanage, the children were naughty and often ran around. I was often hit by them. Gu Lingqing drove to the Oasis Hotel and stopped by the side of the road. Wait for me here for a while. Oh, Wu Yin responded. She watched Gu Lingqing walk into a small restaurant. There was a strange feeling in her heart. He was still so careful. Hidden under his cold appearance was a warm heart. He would care about others and take care of others. God should give him a good girl who would care about him and take care of him so that he wouldn't be lonely anymore. 10 minutes later, Gu Lingqing came back with a plastic bag and passed it to Wu Yin. His voice was indifferent and distant, as if he was deliberately trying not to misunderstand. I didn't bring the ointment for your burn. I bought it for you. There's also the Bai Nan Bai Yao spray, which promotes blood circulation and dissolves blood stasis. Also, there are 2 hard-boiled eggs in the bag. It's a little hot now, but it should be just right when we get back to the hotel. Peel the eggshell and roll it on the bruised area. It's Xiao Xin who hurt you. As a father, I should be responsible for it. He said it was because Xiao Xin hurt him. So, as a father, he should be responsible for it. This way, no one would misunderstand. Wu Yin twitched his mouth and didn't refuse anymore. He took the plastic bag from Gu Lingqing. Thank you, Mr. Gu. I will work hard and strive for a salary of 100,000 a month. Okay. Gu Lingqing drove Wu Yin to the Oasis Hotel. Wu Yin got out of the car and watched Gu Lingqing leave before entering the hotel. Gu Lingqing's car drove over slowly. He closed the car door and walked to the front desk. He glanced at the price list. A standard room was priced at 1,080. Hello, I'm Wu Yin's friend. May I know which room Wu Yin is staying in? Gu Lingqing asked politely. Wu Yin? The front desk checked Wu Yin's name. She's staying in our room 2108. Room 2108, right? She hasn't been staying here since Sunday. I've settled the bill for her. How much is the total? The front desk staff looked at Gu Lingqing with her watery eyes. She blushed and used the calculator to calculate. Including today's bill, the guest has been staying here for a total of 6 days. Including tomorrow's bill, it's 7 days. We stay here for 5 days and give you 1 day for free. So, the 6 days bill is 1,248. 0 yuan. Gu Lingqing glanced at the price list again. 2,080 per night was the price of a suite. He swiped his card and walked out of the hotel. He called his assistant and asked, How's your investigation? Mr. Gu, I'm in Sea City now. Wu Yin is indeed from the orphanage. She grew up in the orphanage. A few years ago, after she graduated from Normal University, she returned to the orphanage to teach. Before that, she had a boyfriend. I heard that the guy's family background was not bad, but the guy's family disliked her for her education. After the guy got married, they broke up with her. She was heartbroken and left the orphanage. The assistant reported, How much is the orphanage paying her? Gu Lingqing asked suspiciously. About this, I also asked. It's 2,500 per month. At the end of the year, she will be paid 5,000 to 10,000. Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened. Xiaoyu, if you were living like her, would you stay in a hotel that cost 2,000 per night for a week? I definitely wouldn't. But People who have broken up with their lovers have all kinds of thoughts. She might feel that she has suffered for many years and wants to enjoy the life of a rich person. It's normal. Zhang Xingyu said without a doubt. Okay, go to the orphanage again tomorrow and send me the photos of her in the orphanage. I want at least 6 photos from the youngest to the oldest. Gu Lingqing ordered. Yes, Zhang Xingyu replied. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and looked at Gu Yan. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.